Miller. Now Lafreniere heads off as well. Panarin, cross-ice pass. Scanning on the shot was Zibanejad. Now a 3-on-1. Fox is back. Here's Nylander on the feed from Matthews. Pulls the string. Matthews scores.
See what you did there?
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is.
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Here's the replay on the hit that shook up Adam Fox. Takes his top hand off the stick. Make a play on the puck.
Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? This is some real pretty shit now, man.
Back out for Artemi Panarin. Panarin shoots, kicked out, rebound, score! Gavrikov with the overtime winner.
Pulls up, Shabanov returns it, wide open, kicked out,
I still love that scene. That's and the story behind it is also great. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Big Apple Hockey. And there is a lot to talk about. First off, the toughness of Kyle Palmieri and the lack of response for Adam Fox's situation. But we got a lot to cover. Let's get down to that. And I, of course, am your host, Mark Williams. A little bit under the weather right now, but trying to get through it. Joined by the host of the Final Buzzer, Mr. John Filkowski.
Yeah, I've been fighting off something myself, so I definitely hear you. But yeah, I saw your thing there, Mark, and definitely want to send condolences to friends and family of Keith Goldstein, who is actually a friend of mine as well through hockey. Funny enough, I didn't know until years after I met him that he was a regular at Croker's. But Keith was a pretty good goaltender, somebody who I met years and years ago playing hockey at all the different rinks all over the island, and Sport Time and stuff. And he's just a really good guy. Somebody who I've always described Keith as one of those people who's like, if you have a problem with Keith, it's probably you. Like one of those types of people. But he just a very, very good guy, very quiet, very unassuming guy, but could get you with a zinger and make you laugh out of nowhere. And you just he had that in him. He was just one of those types of unassuming personalities, and just an overall great guy. Just definitely gonna miss him. It's funny. A friend of mine, Chad, who also plays goalie, also was friends with him, texted me out of nowhere and told me about that. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I can't even believe it. It's so sudden out of nowhere. And he was so young too. So, but definitely condolences to family and friends of Keith Goldstein. We're going to miss you, buddy.
Yeah, he was such a bright light in this world. Hard to segue out of that, but let's go to the man from the hockey news, Mr. Anthony LaRocco.
Mark, you said you're dealing with something. I thought you meant your cold. I didn't realize you were just talking about your.
Oh, no, but I was talking about my cold, by the way.
Oh, all right. Well, regardless, sorry about your loss. Seems like you knew him, fairly well, and naturally, when someone goes that young, that's a shame. So, hope keep your head up there. But New York hockey. Rangers stringing some wins together. Islanders get a real gutsy win over a red hot Lightning team last night. So, we'll see. We'll see where the next couple of games takes these teams, as the Metro is really packed. But basically, last to add to that, as my tag, Legend of Palms. That gotta say that play Palmieri made was getting a lot of praise from former players like Scott Hartnell and Scotty Upshall chimed in on X, and just a really incredible play by him on his way out.
Well, as it was said in the tweet in the intro from TJ Oshie, you don't give up on a play. That's just the hockey culture.
Legend of Zelda over there.
Yeah. What was the Zelda?
No, it said Legend of Palms. It said Legend of Zelda.
Oh, nice. Well, you know what? Well, actually, what came out this week was Metroid too. So that's the other thing. But Palmieri, total, and everybody wants to talk about the toughness. How about the presence of mind to recognize that he was skating back into the zone, so he wasn't offsides. He just lifted the stick, took the puck, and then passed it over. I mean, there was a lot of brains on that play too. And let's get down to that, and let's get to the A block right now. As suddenly I lost the graphic. There it is. Let's get over to the A block, where we're brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey.
Update that, by the way.
Oh, which one? Oh, yeah, I got to get the Devils on there as well.
Yeah.
But use the promo code Big Apple Hockey, $20 off your first order. And, of course, Big Apple Hockey trucker hats and shirts are available. Just click the link down below in the link tree. All right, but we'll start with last night. The New York Rangers beating the Dallas Stars 3-2 in overtime. They're 3-1 in their last 4 games. I've talked about how difficult the 7-game stretch was going to be, and so far they've answered the call very much so, even though they're going to be doing it without Adam Fox, who is on LTIR after that hit that we showed at the beginning. 395 points since 2019. He has not missed many games. One of the guys said it in the comments. I think he missed 23 games in his career with the New York Rangers. And you look at the Rangers in this 7-game stretch. Next up is the Ottawa Senators. So, Phil, are the Rangers impressing you with this performance in this stretch?
I don't really know whether to buy into this team or not at this point. I lean towards no, just because I don't like sometimes the way that this team plays. Some of their efforts at home, I'll never understand. Like the Tampa Bay effort was just abysmal.
Oh God.
Their effort against Utah wasn't great. St. Louis was a game where I was like, okay, like I don't know how they won that game. Carolina, same thing. Shesterkin, stole the game against Carolina. The Boston game was a good effort. And then Tampa, it's just the efforts are too inconsistent for me to really say that I'm impressed. If they can come up with some wins against Ottawa, against Colorado, I mean, they played Colorado better than I thought they were going to, but I don't know how they do without Adam Fox at this point. You got Colorado and Vegas. Chicago's been a better team. And Connor Bedard is scoring highlight reel goals left and right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's safe to say the guy has arrived. So you're going to have to watch out for him. Tyler Bertuzzi, I think, has, 14, 15 goals now? And Montreal, we'll talk about them in a little bit. I mean, that's not going to be an easy matchup. Then you've got an emerging Anaheim team. So, I mean, yeah, this stretch is going to be tough. Like, I think this comment is spot on right here from James. Like, it's Forrest Gump, box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I don't know if I can be impressed with a team that you never know what you're going to get from them. So for me, I want to see consistent efforts. I want to see them put the puck in the net, obviously, but it's you don't know what you're going to get. But the one thing I will say, Vladislav Gavrikov might be this team's second best unrestricted free agent signing in the last, 10 or so years, behind Artemi Panarin. And I know it's early to say that, but did anybody expect Vladislav Gavrikov to have 5 goals already? His career high is 6. He's going to smash that. I mean, and not only that, but I remember saying in the preseason and earlier on in the year that Vladislav Gavrikov, his offense is kind of underrated. I didn't think he could do some of the things that he's doing. Like we're going to start calling him Vlad the Impaler. Is that what we're going to do? Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, well, you could play the Guar song, the Vlad the Impaler song by Guar every time he scores a goal. But yeah, it's really, really weird to see him get involved offensively for a guy that's known as a shutdown defender, but someone that I was talking to said that he was starting to take on more two-way responsibility. Could this be something that's always been kind of like hidden within him, where it's, people look at Gustav Forsling, he had that 39-point season. People didn't think he was capable of it. Brady Shea, 39-point rookie season when he profiled really as a defensive defenseman in college and at the World Junior levels. And he comes up and scores 39 points as a rookie. Sure, AV's system might have had something to do with that, but, when you see things like this from, defensemen or even just players in general that you don't expect it from, you're always sitting there wondering, like, is this something they've always had in them? It's like Jay Pandolfo in college. Big-time scorer at Boston. And he ended up being a checking player in the NHL.
A very good one.
What's that?
A very good one.
Yeah, a very good one as well. And Jari Lehtinen, who thought Jari Lehtinen would have a 33-goal season in the NHL at one point. He was a guy that everybody looked at as a perennial Selke guy. But, he could score goals. So, yeah, I mean, they need to come out consistently, and they need to start games stronger too. I don't like the flat starts. Like Dallas even got another, hot start there. Tampa had the first 10 or 12 shots in the game, as opposed to the Rangers on Saturday. They need to come out stronger right off the bat. They play better with the lead, obviously, and that's been seen. So in the games where they take the lead, they're doing well in the win-loss column. But it's not happening consistently. The efforts need to be better. They can't keep taking their pedal off, keep the foot off the pedal. If I could speak right now, that'd be great. But you can't keep taking the foot off the pedal, and you can't show up late. You've got to start games on time, and this is something that's plagued them in the past. So I want to see more of that. But I will say that I was very impressed with the effort against Dallas. They were the better team for about 50 to 55 minutes of that game. And I was shocked. Even with Dallas's injuries, they're still a better team than this Ranger team on paper. And
they had another one last night in Tyler Seguin.
Yeah, and Dallas is tough. I think the two girls from the Two Girls, One Cup podcast or One Stanley Cup podcast are probably not too happy with what's going on right now in Dallas. So maybe at some point we'll try to get them to come on with us, and we'll talk some Stars hockey. But Jersey's going to be facing one pissed off Dallas team tonight. So, but yeah, Rangers have gotta be more consistent. If they can string together some consistent efforts and some wins, maybe you can start making a little bit of a believer on me.
Well, they are consistent in one thing: inconsistency, right, Anthony?
Muted.
Yeah,
I had muted myself. The dog barked. As Phil said, it's kind of like, you like the 3-1 record, but there's a lot of things you look at and you're like, all right, well, I'm not necessarily buying in. Last night, obviously Cooley got the tying goal late, but they were pretty close to maybe losing that game, and then maybe you're singing a different tune today, and then when they beat Boston, we all know they don't have McAvoy. Pasternak wasn't playing, so there's things you can point to kind of look at them and be like, fool me once, that kind of thing. So, they got some big games coming up. Ottawa's a solid team, then, goes out saying, then you have the powerhouse Avalanche, who look like, they're trying to pull a historic run this year in terms of how they're playing. So, and then the other part of it too is they're, Adam Fox, arguably their best player, is going to be out now for at least, I guess a week-to-week basis. And that's going to hurt. He's, for all you want to say that, maybe he's not the fastest skater, which he's not, and all that stuff, but there's no doubt that he's having a phenomenal year, and, points to tell. What is he, second or third in points by defenseman this year? So he's going to be a huge loss, and they're going to feel that. So we'll see how they can navigate that and who steps up. We mentioned Gavrikov. He is stepping up. He's playing phenomenal. defensively, and chipping in 5 goals for him is really impressive. So, but they're going to need more than him just to kind of step up on the defensive side. So, I mean, like we've always said the last couple of weeks, the Metro and the East in general is still really just jam packed. I mean, no one's pulling away. I mean, as you see here, yeah, the Rangers are second to last in the Metro, but they're also just 4 points out of first. So, is that going to change anytime soon with this parity? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be like this for quite some time, unless one of these teams goes like on a a heinous losing streak where they lose like 5-6 in a row. And when you look at a lot of these teams, while it's possible, I wouldn't bet on any of these teams to lose that many in a row, maybe 2 or so. But yeah, so it's I don't think you're going to be able to determine what's going to happen with the Rangers for sure for at least maybe even into early February to see where they are. But losing Adam Fox is certainly going to be a huge blow to them. And just like Matthew Darche with the Island with their injuries, I don't think Drury's going out to try to make any sort of move to replace him, especially where kind of where they are in their trajectory. But overall though, I mean, my feelings haven't really changed as much on the Rangers, which I think a lot will agree. I think they're not. I don't think they're a contender. They're not a lottery team right now. They're stuck in the middle, but they're competing, as is really every other team in the East. So it'll be interesting to see how they can, overcome the loss of Fox. And who knows, maybe you win a couple more games in a row, and maybe you put yourself where you're, ahead of that cutoff line there, and then you take it from there. But still a lot of things I don't really like in their game. I would still like to see a little bit more from guys like Lafreniere more consistently, but the biggest worry again though is Adam Fox. You want to say Panarin's the best player in terms of talent, sure, but I think Fox is one of, if not their most important player on their roster, so it's going to be a big loss.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge loss. Their power play without Adam Fox is completely lost. They are running 5 forwards out there, and yet Alexei Lafreniere can't make any headway to get out of there on power play 1. How about that? He's not having Adam Fox is going to be a huge long-term problem. This is where Vladislav Gavrikov is going to step up, and he's going to be as important as he is to the Rangers as he was to LA last year when they didn't have Drew Doughty for a long period of time. This is where Gavrikov is really going to show his worth. And yes, he's doing it offensively, as Phil said before, but now he's also doing it on the defensive side. He did try to clear the puck on the first Dallas goal, then went right back to Capobianco, and he was able to let it go and get the first goal. Oh, was it? Capobianco, my bad. Sorry, I had a friend of mine with the same last name, or similar, I should say. But the thing about the Rangers still, I'm not buying into them, Phil. If you're going to tell me they're a box of chocolates, they're not a box of chocolates. They're more like an EA loot crate where you're going to be like, oh, look, I just bought this loot crate. Let me see what I got. Oh, socks or whatever EA would throw in whenever you're trying to build an ultimate team. They throw you like the worst players. You're thinking you're going to get like Gretzky or something like that. No, you're not getting that. So as far as the Rangers go last night, if not for a lucky bounce, as Cooley threw it at the net, and one that leaked through, and Carson Soucy was able to tap home. Their best center last night, I thought, was Noah Lava. And that cannot be happening. JT Miller, I have no idea what's going on, because if it's an injury, then he needs to sit a lot longer. One of the guys said in the chat before, I agree with you wholeheartedly, because Miller is on a milk carton. And I know, again, you might find plays that he's contributing, like the Cooley deflection, which, by the way, one thing to say about that is that's where Will Cooley kind of shows his inexperience, where Chris Kreider probably would have deflected it home. Will Cooley is going to learn more about getting the right angle on that stick. But as we're seeing right here, The Rangers, the Wendy's of the hockey world. It looks good in the commercials and sometimes tastes good. But
Yeah, I don't know about that last part. I haven't really gotten that from Wendy's, but I mean,
Burger King more than Wendy's.
I was going to say Burger King is a little different, but
and Checkers definitely. But
oh man, Checkers, so good.
But Phil, I mean, you look at the Rangers, and I mean, they won last night. Good. Again, I don't want to do like the college football thing with that, where you're starting to look at them and going, "Oh, they beat this team, they beat this team," but they got Carolina, and you said Igor stole that game. They got a weak Boston team. They got that effort against Tampa Bay was poor and piss poor, and we have to talk about this. Adam Fox absolutely gets obliterated, and there is absolutely no response from the Rangers in any way. That is more telling than anything else you could think of, because what happens then is nobody's got each other's back on this team. This is why, again, that's why when you miss Matt Rampy, that's one of those things, because he's one of the guys that would run out and go do that, protect the guy. I mean,
I agree.
There's yeah. So
I'm trying to remove the comment. I had it up there, yeah, but I mean, I agree. They got a little too cute with their shot selection at times. I think they just need to get shots on net. I think the big thing with the power play for me is that they're just not making it simple. Like when you don't have the talent to really like move the puck cross seam with precision, like a Colorado or a Dallas or something like that, you have to start doing the meat and potatoes approach and getting shots on net with screens in front. And no one seems to be willing to pay the price to do that.
Mm-hmm. And furthermore, as I kind of said last night, because I actually did get to go to the game, that it was sort of like empty calories, 40 shots. Like there was way too much from the perimeter. I mean, again, I think I was still viewing it a little bit too negatively, but there was definitely a lot of it where you're going, really, it's that's the shot selection you're going with. That's this. Sorry, guys, I gotta make sure I mute this for you, but it wasn't there. It wasn't for lack of just throwing it at the net. But when you're telling me Casey DeSmith is able to come in and stop like 40 shots and with relative ease, he made 3 really good saves, like really good saves. But other than that, I mean, Dallas kind of walked into some problems themselves. They had a 3-on-1 that they basically played themselves into a corner. Rantanen really didn't have much of a shot on it. Kind of an easy save by Igor at a 3-on-1. They had a 2-on-1 later where Rantanen did score. So it's, you don't want to nitpick too much. You want to just look at the grand picture. And the thing is, the Rangers can't sustain this right now. Too many shots, worse than not enough. You know what? Sometimes, look, the reason why too many shots is actually better, oddly to say, because it's almost like they had the two spectrums. Saturday, they couldn't get a shot on net, and when they did, it was weak. And then you had last night where they had a ton of shots, and you're just like, there is the happy medium. It does come down to shot selection and stuff like that. But
quality, yeah. But the issue is that if you're not putting any shots on net, chances are the games that you put less shots on net, you have less of a chance to win. Because obviously, the issue comes down to the fact that you need to score to win. Like you have to outscore the other team. That's the goal with hockey. But at the same time, you can't always do the Carolina Hurricanes method and just shot volume and all that other stuff. You're right. It's a happy medium.
Well, here's the real thing, Philk. There's no second chance opportunities.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for me. You really no. There's no arbitrary number to be had. It comes down to really getting quality shots on net, and like Mark said, second chances. Like a lot of the Rangers' offense this year has been one and dones. Like in the past, it's not been one and dones. You honestly, like obviously, if you're generating second chance opportunities, that means sustained offensive zone pressure time. And sustained offensive zone pressure time means either one, you're drawing a penalty, or two, you're going to score a goal. So, or both even. You can score a power play goal from it. But you have to be able to get quality shots on net. And this team still at times is reluctant to attack the middle of the ice. And that's why in a lot of games, their shot totals have been high, but it again, empty calories. Like it's just, that's what it comes down to. And you can't have that. You have to be getting quality shots on net. And you know when you can sit there and say expected goals and all this other crap, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that you need to get quality shots on net. You need to have sustained offensive zone pressure time, because at the end of the day, even if you're not getting the goals at that point, you're still going to wear the other team down. It's kind of like the way that I used to think about the New York Giants when they had that Earth, Wind, and Fire running back trio of Jacobs, Ward, and Ahmad Bradshaw, and how Jacobs would come in and he'd wear down the front seven because he was just a gigantic human being, and they were trying to tackle him, and it would wear them down. And then Ward and Bradshaw would come in and would cut them up. So that's what you kind of have to do. It's kind of a war of attrition in hockey. So, but yeah, you do need to get more shots on net. But again, you're right. Happy medium. Where is it?
Well, the other happy medium also to mention is that the third line of Laba, Berard, and Cooley was probably the most noticeable line all night. And they tended to have generating more time in the offensive zone and more scoring chances. I know it's going to say Panarin had 2 assists. I know if you look at the score sheet, you're going to see, I think it was Panarin had 2 assists. Cooley had the goal. I know, hey, Connor Sheary had a point. So there you go. There's something. But you need to be able to just sustain pressure the entire time. And Rangers they were able to do it as far as the shot volume went, but then you kind of went, were any of them really going in? Goalie's going to get a clear sight on it in this level. They're going to stop it. It's that simple. So we're going to wait for Anthony to come back to do the Islanders. But first, let's go to the Devils. You look at the Devils this week, Phil. They're 2-2 over the last week. They got wins over Buffalo and St. Louis. They had that loss to Columbus on Monday night. Brendan Dillon played his 1,000th game with the Devils. And, they had the loss to the Flyers too mixed in there. Phil, where exactly are the Devils right now?
Oh, this is an interesting team because this week was kind of an up and down week for them. Like, they might be in a playoff spot, but they're only 2 points ahead of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and those two teams both have games in hand on them. They're only 3 points ahead of the Rangers. They're 2 points ahead of the Islanders. This division is so close. You were talking about it before, the parity and everything like that. I'll say this: the team has talent, but again, inconsistency with this team too. I do love the speed that they play with. I love the talent that they have in the lineup. I do think that they're offensively, at least, they're very good. But I think the defense and the goaltending leave a lot to be desired. I know that Jim has been somebody who's defended Jacob Markstrom, but I just think that he needs to be better. Like you need to get more out of somebody who has an .874 save percentage and a .360 goals against. When
874, there's no excuse for that.
There's no excuse. At 9'11", save percentage from Jake Allen and a 2.48 goals against. I mean, he's been the better goalie of the two. Like this, what are we in 2012 again? Like, is that the case? Is that really the case? Like, is that really? I just don't understand how Jake Allen's really turned back the clock. And Jesper Bratt has. I thought he was going to step up. I really thought he was going to step up. And he has not been all that great lately. He's kind of cooled down a bit. Still a point per game, funny enough. Nico Hischier has been better as of late. He's up to now 25 points in 26 games, which is good. Timo Meier is just under a point per game as well. But I do think the Devils could probably benefit from the Olympic break, honestly. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I think the holiday Olympic breaks will actually help out the Devils. I do think that, like I said, there is a team here. I think they will be a playoff team. I wonder about their efforts in games. Like, if you want to talk about the Rangers being inconsistent, the Devils they're bad too with that. I just think that they need to be a hell of a lot better than they've been in this last week. You can't be losing to teams like Philadelphia and Columbus the way that they did. I mean, they escaped with a win against St. Louis, after beating Detroit, and Detroit's a decent team. They're pretty good this year. They shut up Buffalo.
Yeah, but they're frustratingly inconsistent as well.
Well, Detroit, yeah. I mean, but they're still a pretty good team. But they can't seem to beat Philadelphia. They've lost to Philadelphia twice in the span of 7 days. And they let up 11 goals as opposed to scoring 6 in those 2 games. And then you lose 5-3 to Columbus. I mean, they're going to get a pissed off Dallas team tonight, like I said. They really are, and that's not going to be I don't think that's going to be a great matchup for them. But if they can take advantage of Dallas being hurt, then good for them. But they have a tough stretch. I mean, the next 3 games against Vegas, Boston, and Ottawa are their next 4. Yeah, their next 5 games are not exactly easy. Vegas, Boston, Ottawa, Tampa, and Anaheim. And that's going to be a stretch for them. They need to start playing better than that. So we'll see what happens. But I question the team's efforts at times. I wonder if a trade is in the works for them. I don't think Quinn Hughes is really the answer per se. I think that they need other
hell
things.
no.
I think adding Hughes would be obviously a help, but I just think they need to go and address their team in other ways. I think they need to get bigger. I think they need to get a little more physical. I think they need an effort. They need something that's going to change that culture in that locker room right now.
They're so inconsistent that this week was brought to you, if you want to say, by the number 5, because I believe they won. It was 3-2 versus St. Louis, but then it was 5-0 over Dallas. Over Buffalo. Ooh, 5-0 over Buffalo. But then they gave up 5 and lost to Philadelphia. Then they gave up 5 and lost to Columbus. Like, I mean, you can't give up 5 goals in back-to-back games. Is just and expect to be a contender on this. The one good thing about the Metro Division, if you look at it like this, because you got the Metro Division standings. Right here below me. I already clicked on it. But, I mean, nobody's really pulling away. So you don't see the teams that with deficiencies and problems. And the Devils are kind of like that. Like, the Devils going to be a team that are going to come in and bludgeon you offensively. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the Devils are hanging their hat on. That's one problem that I have right now with them. And again, Jim, when he's here, he's going to be able to clear this up for us. But let me go down to Anthony and just say, Anthony, where do you look at the Devils and just see them right now?
I mean, it's hard to say without Jack Hughes in their lineup, because he's the engine that drives that team. So he's a big piece that's out of the lineup. So it's, when you look at them, you have to keep that in mind. They're still a good team without him, but he certainly makes them a real threat. In the meantime, they got good score. I mean, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier, Nico Hischier, they got a lot of good pieces, but for me, it's still their goaltending. I know Jim vehemently disagrees with this and, says Markstrom really is an issue and their defense, sometimes is too lax, which is true. But I don't think that Markstrom is necessarily a difference maker. I mean, he's not bad. Don't get me wrong. He's not a bad goalie. I think he is a good, average starter in this league. And then it seems like every other year, as Phil alluded to a couple of weeks ago, he decides, all right, well, now I'm going to be elite. But then the following year, he's kind of just mess. So, listen, the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup with Darcy Kemper. So I'm not going to say that the Devils can't get to the promised land because I do think they are that talented. But I don't know. I just when I look at them, they scream like, they're going to be in the playoffs. Yes, they're going to play fast pace, but when it comes down to playing playoff hockey and the grinding game, can they really go up against some of the teams that can play that way? Tampa's not the same team they were, but they're still playoff tested. They could play that style of game. If the Panthers get their act together and they do get into the playoffs, we all know they could play that style of game. So, I don't know. Like we talked about last week, you're not really worrying about the Devils. I think they're going to, certainly be in the top three. The Metro right now is kind of just like, just all conglomerated. But I will say they'll be there. It's just a matter of can they really, get into the conversation of being a true contender. I'm not sure of.
And when we talk about teams that are going on runs, and you're always like, oh, what happens if the team goes on a run? The Washington Capitals right now, 8-1-1 in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row. Their team, we're going to talk about them a little bit more on Bar Talk in a minute. But, I mean, that's what you're looking for when teams are going to start separating themselves from the other teams in this division. So when you get like the Carolina Hurricanes, who are, right now they're treading water too, 5-3-2 in their last 10. I mean, you got to be better than for the New Jersey Devils. And I guess they're missing their best player, and your second best player now has to do so much more because Nico Hischier has to cover the other team's best player and produce the offense. It makes it a little bit more difficult. I just, you hope everything's going to be okay in New Jersey as soon as possible, but I'm not liking the way they're looking right now. All right. Now that we got Anthony back, which is very important to have Anthony back for this because I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about with the Islanders. They're 1-2-1 the last 4 days. I mean, you look at Anthony, the toughness of Kyle Palmieri. We highlighted it. We're going to be singing those praises in a little bit of him getting an assist on a torn ACL. And then you look at, we talked about the Islanders' tough stretch that's coming on. They were against teams with a .630 combined winning percentage. And you look at the results that are going on right here. They're, as I said, 1-2-1. Anthony, can the Islanders salvage this homestand?
I mean, if they beat Colorado, which would be, obviously a big achievement considering they lost once in regulation, they would finish this homestand 3-3-1. So, homestand of 3-3-1 is kind of just meh. But if you can get to that point by beating a team like the Colorado Avalanche, then yes, absolutely. Clearly they're since they got back from the road trip, their scoring kind of dried up a little bit. They haven't been scoring as much as they did when they were on that, 7-game road trip when they went 6-1. But I'm watching them. They're not really playing bad hockey. They're just not. They haven't been scoring with that much consistency as they were when they were out west. Outside of the Philly game where they scored 3, they were either scoring 0, 1. Last night they scored twice and they won. So, that's not even that many goals, but at least, thankfully Sorokin was outstanding and that's why they won. But even the game they beat Seattle, their other win on the trip, they technically got shut out. They just won in the shootout. So, definitely the lack of scoring since they've come home has hurt them. But again, their attention to detail, they are playing good hockey. The pucks just aren't going in, and hopefully that will beating a team that in the Lightning that were red hot. They were a 7-game winning streak. Maybe that will turn the tide a little bit. But again, same kind of similar thing to the Rangers right now. Despite maybe not having the best homestand, they're still 3 points out of first. So, still in a good spot. They just need to start finding the back of the net again. Now, obviously, Kyle Palmieri is going to hurt them, that loss, being out for the remainder of the season with the ACL injury. He was playing great hockey. He was playing on the top power play line. He was playing well at even strength. So he's a big loss. But now, this opens the door for Maxim Shabanov to move up in the lineup, which he has been. And he's looked really good next to Horvat. So that's certainly encouraging. But there's no doubt you're going to miss a guy like Palmieri because, he's not like big in terms of like height, but he's a bull. He plays hard. He goes to the net. He kills penalties. So he's certainly going to be a loss. So, but like what you have to have in sports is the next man up mentality. So, I think they'll be okay, but certainly are going to feel it. But speaking of him, though, further detail that play where he tore his ACL on was just really, really cool to see. I mean, this is a guy that I've never torn my ACL, so I don't know what it feels like. But from the face he made when his knee bent, you knew he was in absolute pain. But despite that pain, to have the presence of mind to be like, I'm gonna pick this guy's pocket and then make the backhand sauce pass to Drouin to set up the Heineman goal was just incredible. And he went right down the tunnel after. So there was no like, no, it was just, in that moment, he did what he had to do for the team, and he made a really big play. And listen, not to be dramatic or anything, but we know in this sport, every point matters. They got that goal kicked off the 3-goal comeback. They were down 3-0. They lost in a shootout. They got a point. But, let's say they make the playoffs by a point. You could look back to that and be like, Palmieri started that comeback. He kick-started it. And don't fool yourself. The boys on the bench just see the guy blow out his knee. And the fact that he made that play, that fired them up. So, hopefully he can kind of rebound quick and, get back next year. But, yeah, he's a loss. But tomorrow's a big test against Colorado. It goes without saying, they are an absolute wagon. They played them well in Colorado. Patrick Waugh actually called it their best game of the trip, even though that's the only one they lost. So we'll see if they can bring that same effort because they're going to need it. Because Colorado is going to come out and do what they always do and just try to run you into the ground with their skill. So, but yeah, if they could get a win tomorrow, that would obviously be fantastic.
We're going to be talking more about that Colorado game in a minute, but first, let's go get our thoughts on the rest of this. Phil, again, the Kyle Palmieri thing, like you talk about a roller coaster of emotions. You go from "damn, is he okay?" to "oh, we scored a goal," and "damn, is he okay?" again.
I mean, Brian's comment was kind of on absolute horse with the play. Like, and Anthony's right. That's the type of galvanizing moment where, like, you say to yourself, like, wow, like this guy is willing to go to hell and back to make sure that this team wins, despite even sustaining what he didn't know what would be he probably knew it.
Yeah.
So he at the time probably knew it. He was, I mean, if you could have read lips, you probably would have muttered the F word at that time, and that probably would have been the word out of his mouth.
Pretty sure he screamed it out, Phil.
Yeah, he probably. If it wasn't a scream, it was a mutter. But besides the point, all I gotta say is that I wish guys on my team, the team that I watch and cover, played with that type of dedication and passion and intensity. Oh, a Daryl Sador reference from Brian. Well done, sir. Well done. Well done. Even though I disagree with you on the Rev, by the way. Yeah, I will say that you gotta have efforts like that, and that's the type of moment that the team comes together and they're like, "Hey, if he's gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." And when you were talking about that next man up mentality, that's where the next man says, "You know what? I'm going to do that." And then the next man after him says, "You know what? I'm not going to be outdone." It's like in baseball. Like when you're trying to rally in the bottom of the ninth and you've got 2 outs and you don't want to be that guy that goes up there and has that awful at bat and just ends the game swinging at garbage, off the plate and in the dirt. You want to be the guy that makes that pitcher's life hell and draws out a 10 pitch at bat and gets on, whether it's by a walk or a bloop single or whatever the hell. I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. It's good to see. I just wish that the Rangers would do the same thing. But you know what? There's a message, there's a direction, and there's intention there, and that's the way that this team has been playing all year. I can't lie. You're watching one team on one side of the river that is going out there in a malaise on most nights, and then the other team is playing with something to prove. Like, where's the leadership on the other side? But I like it. I do. It's the only thing I would say about the Islanders is that, I mean, again, they've had some tough teams coming up. The next few games are against some pretty tough teams. Yes, I know they just beat Tampa, but if anything, if you see what Tampa did after, their loss to the Rangers in Tampa, something tells me that the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to come out pretty damn fast and intense in that game on Saturday. So, I mean, they have a beat-up Florida team after that. You have a pretty good Vegas team, and then Anaheim after that, and then Tampa again, and then Detroit. So this stretch is going to be tough for the Islanders. We're going to see what they're made of. But they are getting production from good players. You want to see more out of Matthew Barzal. 18 points in 26 games is not enough for a guy that's supposed to be your best offensive player or your second best offensive player. But again, you've got probably the Calder favorite right now with 19 points and 20 in 27 games and 8 goals. And you don't know if that's all right. I can't say you don't know, but here's the question. Is that more impressive for Schaefer, or is that an indictment on the lack of scoring coming from the other players outside of Horvat, the other forwards? Like, we know Palmieri's injured, but Barzal needs to be better. You would agree with that, I would assume. But where is everyone else? Heineman's been a pleasant surprise in the goal-scoring column. The points aren't exactly there yet, but you would hope that they do come. But, I mean, Jonathan Drouin, 15 points in 26 games. Again, you signed him to do a little more than that. And that's where, your offense starts to fall off. Pajot cooled off a bit. Anders Lee has cooled off mightily after.
Pajot's hurt, too.
What?
Pajot's hurt.
I mean, he is hurt, but he cooled off like big time before he got hurt. So I'll say that, this is a big stretch for them. This really is. This is a proving ground. And if they come out of this and they're treading water, then, you're looking at a team that maybe could make a move at some point. Could a Kiefer Sherwood come in and help them out? I mean, he plays a similar type of game to Palmieri. He's a guy that hits, skates well, scores goals, goes to the net. I mean, he fits in. He fit in on the Rangers too. He could come into their top 6 and provide a spark. But, if the Islanders can tread water and then maybe they can, make a couple of moves, could they get into a playoff spot?
I think that's a great question, Phil. I think right now, I'm pretty confident the Islanders can make the playoffs right now. Because I put them ahead of.
They're close.
I put them ahead of the Flyers, who are getting a lot out of Dan Vladar right now. I put them ahead of the Penguins, even though they're all tied in points and the other teams have games at hand. I'm not that confident on them. One good thing that came out of the Pajot injury is that Cal Ritchie has played phenomenal for them so far. Another assist last night. You gotta love what he's been bringing to the lineup day in and day out for the Islanders. I mean, I don't think you send this kid back down. I think he's here to stay. Yeah, definitely. You can't. And obviously you would do that, but I mean, obviously sometimes contracts get in there, Anthony. That's the reason why I have to just say that as a caveat. But you also look at the play of Sorokin, who made a great save on Anthony Cirelli.
Yeah,
I think it was midway through the second.
Yeah.
A little bit of a partial break, and that's a big save. He doesn't do that. Then maybe then it becomes like a 2-2 game. But this is something. The Islanders still have something here. Now, their worst game was against Washington. They lose 4-1. Okay, but you're down 3-0 to the Flyers. You're able to come back. Yeah, you lose it in shootout, but it is what it is. Just keep treading water, keep getting points, and this is a tough stretch. You look at this stretch. You still got the best team in the NHL, the Atlantic Division leader, the possible Pacific leaders to give it on their day, because you got a back-to-back in Anaheim and Vegas, and then you get Tampa again. And don't forget the Stanley Cup champions that are in the middle, who is the team everybody's striving for. So I think the Islanders can still just keep working through this, and this is where Patrick Roy is at his best as a coach of getting guys up for games and getting them motivated. And I'm not a big believer in Patrick Roy, but this is actually where he excels. If you just keep the motor going, that's it. But there is actually another headline that comes out of the next game. And I talked about Cal Ritchie. Let's not forget how the Islanders got Cal Ritchie, because the guy that they sent there was none other than Brock Nelson. Anthony, he returns to UBS tomorrow night. Give me your thoughts on Brock Nelson and the legacy that he left.
I mean, if you're talking, and especially if you're talking longevity too, post dynasty players. So you put him in the category of, Palpi, Turgeon, LaFontaine, Tavares. Nelson had one of the most successful careers of the Islander players that fit in that category. I mean, we talked about it before he got traded. Like if he would have re-signed and finished his career there, how far he would have moved up on a lot of these lists. In goals, I think he sits fourth or fifth maybe. So
he's fifth with 295.
Yeah, so he's he built a really good legacy here on the island. He was always a player that kind of came in with some decent expectations. I mean, he was a 30th overall pick out of North Dakota, but he was expected to be that next rise of players coming up with like Ryan Strome, and some of those other guys didn't work out. Nelson, Lee, they hit him, and earlier in his career, Nelson looked like just kind of like a middling 20-goal guy that kind of just disappeared at times. But then Barry Trotz transformed him. When Barry Trotz came, he turned into a monster. I mean, he became a really, really high quality two-way center, as well as a guy that now all of a sudden now he's just scoring 20 goals, but he's approaching 40, and he competes every night. So he was a guy that it was tough to see him go, and seeing him in a New Jersey for the first time hurt a little bit, but I get why he did it. He was getting a little older. He didn't maybe know which direction the Islanders were going in, and he saw a chance to win a cup. So certainly don't fault him for that. And him leaving also netted them Callum Ritchie, as you said, Mark. So I think it worked out for both teams. But yeah, I expect him to get a video tribute, obviously, standing O. Similar Marchand this year. It's not going to surprise me if he gets fairly emotional during it too, because like 2 days before he was traded, he was the first star of the game, and Shannon Hogan was interviewing him, and she asked at the time, like, what does it mean to play here? Because we all knew that his status was up in the air, and in that moment he was getting choked up. So his first time back, I think it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions for him. But it was tough to see him go. Wish him all the best. He had a hell of a night the other night for Colorado, and he deserves to win. We'll see if he can get it done this year, but. Unlike the reaction when Tavares came back, we all know that went. He's gonna get a really, really warm welcome tomorrow, and it's well deserved.
Yeah, Phil, what are your thoughts on Brock Nelson and the legacy that he left behind with the Islanders?
To put it in perspective, Anthony talked about how he was a late first-round pick out of North Dakota at NCAA, who for a while looked like a middling player, 20-goal guy, and then kind of, Barry Trotz came along and he exploded and became a much better player to the point where he even made an international team roster. Mark, who does that remind you of?
Actually hit me. Blanking on it.
Chris Kreider.
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me a lot of Chris Kreider. I would say he's had a similar career, sort of in ways. They're a year apart in draft. They both had career years in their 30s. Mm-hmm. They were both, on each side of the river. Chris Kreider was heavily involved with, the community in New York. Beloved by a lot of fans. Brock Nelson was heavily involved in the community on Long Island. Beloved by Islander fans. I just think that I think when I look at the two players, I think of the same thing. The guys that were traded, during times of influx where, the teams were in limbo. They didn't know what directions they were going in. I think Nelson absolutely deserves to have that video tribute and the standing ovation that he's going to get. You can talk about the retirement issue. I don't know if I would necessarily retire his number. He's 8th all-time in points, 5th in goals. The numbers that are retired are really, Trottier, Bossy, Potvin, Gillies, Billy Smith's retired. And I think that's it, right?
All Dynasty era guys.
Nelly and Goring.
Oh, yeah, Goring, yeah. Forgot about Butch. But, a lot. It's all really the Dynasty guys that have been retired. So maybe – but then again, that's another discussion and just a completely different story. But,
yeah,
I'll say that, for a younger generation that didn't get to see those guys, Brock Nelson was probably someone that everyone looked up to as an Islander fan. I was high on him in his draft year. I follow North Dakota. That's one of the teams that I follow, Boston College being the other one that I really extensively follow. But he turned himself into a good player. He's had a nice career. He's played over 1,000 games. This is somebody that's going to be, when he's going to be looked at in a very, very positive light forever when it comes to Islanders and their fans. I imagine that once his career is all said and done, I could see him coming back to the island and being a part of the organization in some sort of capacity, whether it's management, whether it's PR, whether it's, brand ambassador, something like that. He fits everything that he said about the island. I know we talked about Tavares and the comments that he made leading up to, when he left, and how a lot of it was deception, and how someone at the bottom there called him, what was it? Snake was the animal that you used to describe him.
Yeah.
But, Brock Nelson has been the antithesis of that. And I do think that all the accolades and all the praise that he's going to get from the Islanders and their fans, he deserves it. Good guy.
Sorry about that, everybody. I thought I had my mic muted.
No big deal.
But look, there are those players that you can look over and go, what generation did they play in? Brock Nelson could have been a New York Islander in any generation and succeeded. I think when I think about the Islanders over the last, the post Barry Trotz era, with all due respect to anyone else that contributed for that team, I think about like Adam Pollock, Barzell, obviously. I think of Brock Nelson. I don't think of anybody else. And not many people reach this new gear in their 30s, but he was given more opportunity and a little bit more responsibility. And once that happened, he took off. And hey, more power to him. And now he is a guy that you talk about with Team USA potentially in the Olympics. He didn't go with the Four Nations, if I recall correctly, right?
No, he did.
He did.
He was there at the Four Nations.
He was there.
Okay, I forgot in that because
that's why I said before you even made an international team.
International team, that's right. Well, because I knew he played with the international teams around like 2014, 2015 in there. I remember him and Lee both making Team USA in the championships. But this is a little bit different. And look, Brock Nelson, he's going to deserve all the accolades. They had to rip that Islander jersey off of him, unfortunately. And by the way, this is one of the rare times Lou wasn't completely loyal and did move on for the organization's sake. And it was the right call.
I would disagree that it was Lou's decision. I think it was a mutual thing.
It probably was. But I mean, you know, Lou Lamoriello did not want to trade Brock Nelson. And when he got back at King's ransom. And he could have gone to Winnipeg, which really would have helped him. Helped Winnipeg. But wasn't really feeling that.
Lou only traded him because Nelson didn't, accept any of his offers. So if it was up to Lou, Nelson would still be here, and they wouldn't have Callum Ritchie, a big building block of going forward. So Nelson did them a favor, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an interesting discussion that you bring up too, because if Nelson was here right now, you think this team would be in a playoff spot? Like, I think like one of like the 3 playoff spots and not a wild card.
I mean, I don't know, because if Nelson's here, someone else maybe. I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to say. I don't know.
Let me flip that around. If Nelson is with the Islanders, is Colorado the wagon that they are right now?
Probably, yeah.
I still think Colorado would be a pretty good team. But again, I've said this for years, and this goes back to the Igor argument every time. You build down the middle to win. Mm-hmm. And Colorado has incredibly strong center depth with McKinnon and Nelson as a 1-2. I mean, McKinnon is playing like the best player in the world right now. We all talk about McDavid, but McKinnon's the guy. Like, he's scoring at over 1.5 points per game pace. Like, that's nuts right now. And then you have Nelson that comes in, and he's a good, solid two-way guy, all situations, Swiss Army knife. Yeah, I mean, Colorado would still be a really good team, but having someone like Brock Nelson as your number 2 center definitely helps.
But Nelson is that second-line center that Colorado's been lacking since Nazem Kadri left.
Yeah, and Casey Middlestat didn't do it for them.
No. I mean, Casey Middlestat hasn't done it for anybody, so that's the other way to look at it. But
this is true, too. Colorado also has solid goaltending now.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to win. Solid, not elite. Solid wins.
Yeah.
Well, and now they got Mackenzie Blackwood playing again, so that's another thing that helps. But we got a lot more to talk about, guys, as we're going into NHL Bar Talk.
Let's kick it into high pace. Grab your mates, it's time to unlock NHL Bar Talk.
Layup, get the damn hoop.
We go shot here.
The easiest I've ever dancer.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around.
We're all in this game, let the good time shake.
I loved it so much. I never even noticed also the sleeves on my jersey. It's just terrible. Also, by the way, come on. I think I'm better looking than that guy that's in there, but that's a different story. Sorry, what, Phil?
I said, what hack made this question?
Still love that one. I got actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put that one in there instead. I know you got the other one, but everybody, welcome back to Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk, where we're gauging our confidence on NHL topics based on our choice of drink. So confident that you're buying around so slow, have a beer. Or, oh my God, I need a shot. And maybe today you might need that pause. Although Phil, you're watching Stranger Things, so you probably heard that maybe a couple times. Oh my God. Play around down in the comments below, everybody. And let's go right back to the New York Islanders, because the Islanders have both Kyle Palmieri and Alexander Romanov on the long-term injury reserve. Anthony, if the Islanders are within points or shouting distance of the division, Matthew Darsh will use the LTIR space from Romanov and Palmieri to acquire a big piece.
Let me just clarify something. They're actually not on LTIR yet. If a deal falls in his lap and he needs the cap space, then he can do so. But still, the same premise.
Thank you for correcting me on that one.
You know what? I'm gonna go shot, and it's different reasons for like saying this maybe a year ago when it comes to big moves for the Islanders. Because back then it was like you have no pieces to make a move like that. Everything's depleted. I mean, they have a top 5 prospect pool now. It's not about that. It's more about two things. One, is there really a player that's available right now that fits this? I mean, the only teams selling right now are Calgary, Nashville, etc. So, I mean, none of those guys really kind of fit the bill to do something huge. The second part of it is this is year one of the Islanders retool. Like Phil said, I think used the term like house money with them. Like you're not going to go ahead and move a guy like, any of your top pieces, Yzerman, Richie, Aitchison, Victor Eklund, Danny Nelson. You're not moving any of these guys to bring in a piece because you're still, like I said, you're still in the infancy of it. Why would you want to shorten your window by doing it now before it's even truly open? So I don't think Darsh will do that. I think he's going to keep all his big pieces. And then again, also too, if the Islanders are looking like a bona fide playoff team, I'm not going to say Darsh is going to sit on his hands and do nothing. I think he certainly will reward his team, but it'll be a minor-ish kind of move, like where, I don't know, maybe he moves like a third and a lesser prospect like Quinn Finley for somebody who can help out with depth and stuff. But he's not going to trade, his first, maybe not even Colorado's first, even though, let's face it, that pick's going to be like an early second with how good that team is. But he's not going to trade any of the top guys. And again, I don't think he should move any of his top guys right now in year one of what is a surprise so far. So shot, but I will say I do think he'll add a piece if they're a playoff team. It's just not going to be a huge move. And before I hand it off too, like again, who are you going to get? You're going to get Jonathan Marchessault, who doesn't fit. He's 30, he's in his mid 30s already, and he's got term left. It would be a terrible decision, and it would even block guys like Yzerman from a spot in the lineup next year. So I don't see the fit for the Islanders right now with doing a move like that.
Phil, what do you think?
I mean, I wanted to first like get some clarification. Like, what do you mean by a big piece? Like, what level of player are we talking about here?
I would say probably more of a marquee name that would go up there, like one of the top targets of the trade deadline.
Well, Nathan Kadri, like a guy like that, like
Kadri, Panarin.
I mean, I don't know if I could. I'm probably going to have to go shot if that's the case, and I don't think this trade deadline is going to be very attractive one. I think that, I mean, the Canucks are selling, yeah, but it depends on who they're selling. I can't see the Islanders being involved in Quinn Hughes. I can't.
Kiefer Sherwood wouldn't be a big piece.
Kiefer Sherwood was. No, from what they're saying, they might require a first-round pick to get him, which I wouldn't do it. I don't think that's good. I know that Joe Grazier is trying to stir up a little trouble with that. Yeah, but I don't see them being in on the big pieces. I could see a smaller move, like Anthony said, maybe something a little bigger than that. I do think that Darsh, if they're close enough, if they're only a couple of points outside of a playoff spot, or even if they're in that wild card and they're hanging on to the wild card by the skin of their teeth, I do think Darsh will make a move to try to send a positive message to that locker room. And I think you kind of have to if you're a GM at that point. I really do. So I'm going to say shot because of the word big piece, because I just can't see them being in on the big fish. But Darsh has done some things that I haven't expected. I do think that he has the future in mind over everything else. I think that's really his biggest focal point is making sure that he doesn't give away any of their big prospects. Like, I don't see a Danny Nelson going somewhere, for example. And that would be like out of all their like top end prospects, that would be the guy that I think they would be willing to move most. Like, I don't think they're moving an Yzerman unless like a young, like cornerstone type piece somehow becomes available.
Like Tage Thompson. People already starting to say, is Buffalo going to get to the point you move Tage Thompson?
If he became available, I think Darsh would do more than kick the tires on. I think that's a player where you seriously have to be like, okay, you know what? I know we were trying to rebuild, but this is a young player in his prime years that's very productive that could change the trajectory of our team like immediately. And that's where I think Darsh would be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I agree, Matt. Yeah. Like, I don't think they're gonna pony up for rentals. I don't. And Laugh is available. Yeah, that'd be a funny one.
Yeah,
a real funny one. But yeah, shot here. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going shot too, and I think it's because Darsh has got his eyes on the big picture. This team, as presently constructed, without any like big thing to add on, then by the way, that would literally be a big piece if they added Owen Power.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Just the way he's played lately, I don't know what his value would be to other teams around the league right now. Like, you have a guy that's really kind of, I mean, the potential's there, the skill's there, but he's been very disappointing. This is something I'd be more interested in.
Yeah,
where I think that could happen by the end of the year.
Darlene before Thompson.
I don't know if that's a deadline deal, though. I think that might be an offseason deal.
These are all offseason deals. Those are two big pieces that they'd have to move for that. But as the Islanders, their prospect pool / the way the team is built, no, they're gonna play this one smart. And the great thing about what Darsh is doing, look, they're having a feel good season, but let's not bet all in on this team right now. Let's see how it plays out. And I think I don't think he's gonna risk it all to get a bigger piece. So because who knows, you might be able to retool quickly on the fly, have the right pieces in place, maybe win the division, and then have at least a successful season like the Washington Capitals had last year. Now here's a fact that there's only 3 players in the NHL history to have a point per game season at the age of 40. Here they are. There's Gordie Howe, Johnny Busick, and Teemu Selanne. And Alexander Ovechkin right now, 27 points in 27 games. Anthony, I'm going to go right back to you because I know you're a big Ovechkin fan, especially with that tinted visor you wear. Alexander Ovechkin will record a point per game season at the age of 40.
So he's got 27 points in 27 games after what was a lackadaisical slow start. I feel like every time you doubt him, he just comes back and does the opposite. I mean, last year I guess wasn't too much of a surprise because he was chasing the record, but that season was outstanding. Question is, can he keep up his current pace at his age? I don't know, but again, that goes back to what happens when you doubt him. I'll go Beer. I do think that he's having fun. I think the weight of the record, and then the weight of getting 900 because he was stuck on 899 for a while when the season started. I think that weighed on him a little bit, and now all that's gone. And I think he's having fun. His team's winning hockey games again. He knows that maybe this is his last year. So, he's pretty much done everything he could possibly do, but maybe he also wants to go out on a high note and he's just playing loose and he's motivated by that. So, I'm not going to say round or shot because I don't want to discount the possibility that he slows down a lot. I also don't want to discount the possibility of saying lock either. So I'll take the easy way out and say Beer here, but like I said, he's just having fun. He's playing well right now. We'll see what happens.
Filk?
It's funny, the way he started off was not great. I mean, in his first 5 games, he had 3 points, and then he had a 4-game pointless streak where he was a minus. He was either a 0 or a minus in 4 straight games from the 25th of October through the 1st of November. And ever since that ended, I mean, the numbers are pretty impressive. Since then, in 15 games, he's had 10 goals and 20 points. And I said from November 5th until last night. And I mean, Washington has gotten better since. So I will say that there's definitely something to be said for what Anthony was saying. I just wonder about the endurance and the physical shape that he's in, and how he's going to have to how he's going to deal with this at age 40. I mean, he's truly a marvel, because I mean, for him to be playing at this rate at this age, it's a testament to how good he really is. But it's just a team that I've expected regression from, and they have regressed a little bit. But it seems like they've bounced back a little bit from that. I don't know if that's sustainable or not. That's the thing. So I gotta say, beer. I mean, do you want to see it happen? Yeah, I think a lot of fans would want to see that happen. I think they would want to see Ovechkin, and yeah, I don't think anyone is really out of line for saying this. Like, I think people honestly want to see him go for 1,000. How crazy would that be if this guy scores 1,000 goals?
That would be insane.
The only other guy that I ever thought truly had a shot at that would have been Mike Bossy.
Because he has to play what? I mean, at least maybe 3 or 4 more years to get that. Not 3 years.
I would say it depends on what he does this year.
Yeah,
like what it depends on what he does this year. I mean, does he score another 40 goals this year? Like, he's not on pace for that right now. He's on pace for like 30 or so. But I mean, here is this the slowdown? Is this the regression? I mean, last year, everyone was like, what the hell is he doing at 39? And I think you were right. The goal scoring chase had something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, a lot of things went the right way for Washington. But who's to say that their players don't hit some sort of development spike next year? Or they don't have like a rookie that comes in and invigorates the lineup and it boosts everybody's play. Like, they have a couple of young guys that come along and help out. Maybe Hendrix Lapierre turns a corner next year. He's finally healthy, and he becomes the first-round pick that everyone thought he could be. But I don't know. I got to say beer, but I'll tell you, that 1,000 conversation is an interesting one to talk about.
Now, Filk, and what many of you guys might not know, Filk joined the 40 Club this week. And
on Sunday.
And speaking about which, that feeling of being 40 and having some physical activity, you're going to discover that it's a wonderful thing. How you're just going to beg for the sweet release of death. But I went through that. I went through the slowdown. Granted, again, I'm thinking about myself a little bit more early 40s on that. I'm in a men's league, not so much professional hockey, where usually 37 is the line of demarcation. But you go through that, your confidence kind of wavers, and you start thinking, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe my body's not going to hold up. I've turned to Maria and said, sorry that you're with a rotting corpse several times. She has reassured me that's not the case.
Yeah, we're going to get that Crypt Keeper videos and put them
yes
when you speak.
But I got to tell you this, Phil. That being said, there's one factor that really just can invigorate somebody. That's if they're having fun. And Anthony said it, that this is a fun Ovechkin. A fun Ovechkin is dangerous for the NHL. because, or at least the goaltenders that are in there. The NHL is going to love it because you saw Ovechkin when he was having fun last year. He was able to just rattle off goals left and right. He was a point per game player last year. So I'm going to say it's a round for me. And I think Ovi, who had 73 points last year and was well over a point per game by about 8 points. He did have 65 the year before in 79 games, but he had 75 and 73 the year before. I just think a fun Ovi. Good luck to every single NHL goaltender that there is out there because this guy, he's going to do it. Put it down right now. He's going to have a point per game season at the age of 40. And God only knows when he's not going to be producing. Him and Crosby, just to say something else, I think I heard a stat the other day that him and Crosby combined have 27 goals on the season. Like those guys are still producing at their age. And they're only just going to keep going, especially in the case of Crosby. One group that produced very well to start the season, the Montreal Canadiens, guys. They were 9-3-1, second in the NHL. Everybody was so high on the Montreal Canadiens, but since November 6th, only 4-6-2. That's good for 28th in the NHL. Philk, Montreal was crowned a little too quickly.
I guess round, but who crowned them?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't hear everybody saying, the future Stanley Cup champions of next year or such? That was all over the internet.
I don't know if I heard that. I heard that they were going to be a contender. I mean,
would you still say they're a contender right now?
I mean, they're an up and down team. They're a young team that's going through kind of a learning period, if you will. I mean, they're not really. They're 2 points out of a wild card spot, and and no one in front of them has games in hand on them. They have 2 games in hand on the Islanders. They have 3 on the Rangers in Boston, and they're only 1 point behind those teams, and they're 2 points behind the Islanders, who are tied in points. The reason why they're not in that spot is because Philly and Pittsburgh have played less games than the Islanders. So, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit there and bash Montreal. I'm not surprised they are where they are. They're right where they were. Actually, this time last year they were worse off.
Yeah, they were much worse off.
They were much worse off. They were the Rangers. I remember the Rangers had that game where they almost lost to them, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, you almost lost in Montreal. They were one of the last place teams in the league," and then they ended up making the freaking playoffs. Listen, there's a learning period there for Montreal. I don't know anyone who necessarily crowned them. I think that term is kind of, I don't know, maybe disingenuous, just because I don't know where this is coming from, but there's still a lot to like about the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to see more from guys like, Nick Suzuki is obviously great. Cole Caulfield's got 14 goals. He's trying to fight for the league. Demonov has been good, but not the runaway Calder winner that everyone thought. Dobson's been okay, but then again, which one of us said something about Noah Dobson not being on power play 1 and how that was going to affect his point production?
That would be, I think, all 3 of us, to be honest with you.
Oh God, yeah. The Dennis Green line. They are who we thought they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dobish has been good until lately. He had a couple rocky starts, but listen, this is a young team that's still learning. Maybe some people were a little high on them, but they've got pieces. You need more out of Slavkovsky, though. I'll tell you that. And they just re-signed Mike Matheson, I think. So, yeah.
Also, Slavkovsky did pick up a goal last night.
Yeah, Montembeau's not their guy, though. That's Dobes is really the guy there now. Montembeault is. I've never been that high on Montembeault. I never thought he was all that great.
No.
Solid, okay starter. I mean, really kind of a lower end starter, if you will, for me. But Dobes is the guy of the future. I think he's really right now. Yeah, they could benefit from a Kiefer Sherwood, Montreal. But do they want to go give up pieces for a player like that? I mean, they have other pieces that can come up, Reinbacher and other guys in their system that can really, Michael Haig, and those pieces that can come up and help them out the next couple of years. So we'll see what happens. But I'll go beer on this, just because there probably were some doing this, but I personally never saw them as crowned. I saw them maybe as contenders that would probably take a playoff spot, but definitely not crowned. So I'm gonna go beer.
Maybe the wording was a little bit much in the way to say that. I want to go with disingenuous though, but I was just going with the fact that
Mark got tied up in the fact that because they made the playoffs last year and the style of play, people are talking about could they take the next step. I think you got too overzealous.
I went a little bit. Yeah. See, this is actually another essence in bar talk. Sometimes I could rephrase it and go a little bit too strong. But Anthony, was Montreal kind of crowned a little bit too quickly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they had a nice story. And I mean, everyone knew they have good pieces and they're an up-and-coming team. But before the season started, I don't know if anyone actually thought they were going to make the playoffs. I think they were in that same category as like Detroit and Ottawa. Can they? Will they? I'm not sure. Montreal ultimately did. So kudos to them. And obviously, like Filk said, they got great pieces: Suzuki, Caulfield, Demidov, Lane Hudson, Dobson, those. He's okay. I think their future is actually Cam Fowler, who has a .920 save percentage playing for Laval right now. I think he's eventually going to be their guy after a really good collegiate career. But I mean, I still think it's possible they can get up to a top 3 spot in the Atlantic. I mean, they're what 30, 31, 30. They're only one point behind Ottawa and Detroit for second in the Atlantic. So, just like the Metro's condensed, so is the Atlantic. So I think the Canadians will be fine. Like I think they're better than Ottawa. I think they're better than Detroit, to be honest with you. So. But yes, I never bought into the fact that they're going to win. That they're going to win the division, or they're true Stanley Cup contenders. I have the Canadians as that middle ground where I think they're more than a bubble team, but they're less than a top contender. They're just like right there in the middle, like a playoff team, but probably doesn't have the horses to go all the way. So. I mean, for me, I guess I'll go. If you want to leave it as this, like crown, then I'll say round. I think if it was worded differently, I probably would have gone with beer, but I'll say round.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go round on this one as well because they're a young team. It's hard for a young team to be so consistent right off the bat. But we'll use that line of demarcation again, going back to November 5th. They have let in the most goals in the NHL, and it's not even they're tied with Detroit. They both let in 50. They're a -14 in goal differential. Their power play is still 18.8. They're all right, but there was this thinking. I think at the beginning of the year, watch out Montreal for Montreal. Now you kind of seeing the cracks in them. I agree with you, Anthony. I think it's going to be Cam Fowler eventually, the guy that goes in net. I hope they don't put him in late in the year to be like.
Did you just call him Cam Fowler?
Oh, geez, Jacob Fowler.
Wow, Mark.
I'm on cold medicine, all right? So anyway,
okay,
Jacob Fowler.
He's sick. He's on medicine. We'll give him a pass.
Yeah. So Jacob Fowler. I think he's going to be the guy. But it's hard when you have a group that's that young because where is really the veteran leadership that's going to help them through it? I feel better about their top end talent. Yeah, they're probably going to make a top 3 because you think the Metro isn't knocking people out. The Atlantic isn't really spring comes out.
I'm pretty sure I said Jacob.
Oh no! Oh, I think you've been got.
I don't know.
You've been got, buddy.
I will be curious to check the tape later. I mean, if I did, I'll concede, but I'm pretty sure I said Jacob.
Anthony, don't worry about it because we don't have one of these for you.
So much eggnog. It's not even. We're not. We're still what, like 3 weeks away from Christmas? Yeah.
I would love. Yeah. I would love to do a show where Mark gets just absolutely blasted during video and see how hilarious it is.
We've already done that. We don't need to do that again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those days are long gone. The Mark's drunken recap. I think my liver is thanking me for that. But this is, but looking at this also right now, it's just Montreal's got steps they got to take. I wonder what they're gonna do because they're a good team now. I think they can make the playoffs. I think they can even make some waves. It's just they got to get settled defensively and they got to get settled in their net eventually. I mean,
they need to get tougher too.
Yes, because again, that's one criticism I have for Jeff Gorton teams. They tend to be all about skill and not about the toughness.
That's what I was literally just saying. They did the same thing happened in New York.
Yep, and
great
thing right there. Ottawa's a lot tougher because after all, they just got back Brady Tkachuk, who got his first of the season last night as well in a win over the Canadiens. Let's talk about another, and I actually thought he wasn't a rookie, but he is still a rookie right now. But Minnesota's Jesper Wallstedt leads the NHL in the three big categories: goals against, save percentage, and shutouts. Anthony, I changed this around on you slightly because Jesper Wallstedt is the Vezina front runner, and he's Jesper Wallstedt is the clear-cut Vezina front runner.
Before I answer that, I'm actually generally asking. You're calling him Wallstedt, but I'm pretty sure, isn't it pronounced Wallstad, like Swedish? It sounds like it's Vids Jesper Wallstad. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so I don't know which is the.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure of the pronunciation.
Yeah. You know what? I think you got a good point on that one. I'll check.
The Wall of St. Paul.
Yeah.
So.
But no, for me, this is tough because, and I'm not saying any of these guys are Vezina finalists. I'm just talking from the games played aspect. There's no doubt he's been fantastic, but he's only played 10 games. Like other clear starters, like Shesterkin's played 22. Sorokin's played 18. Wedgwood's played 19. So those are, 8, 9, even sometimes more, 12 more games played or 11 more games played. So my question is, can he get the votes if he's splitting with Gustafsson? Otherwise, yes. I mean, he's been fantastic. This kid was viewed as one of the top goalie prospects for a while, and for a little bit there, it looked like is he stalling? But I mean, no. Now he's putting to bed any questions. He's been absolutely fantastic. I would say, it's hard not to look at the stats and be like, well, it's also the eye test. Like he's the best goalie in the NHL right now, especially with Hellebuck injured. But I want to say round. I just don't know with the games played, him splitting time, if he could still win the Vezina as opposed to like a workhorse who plays in a lot more games. But man, has he been fantastic for Minnesota. And it also brings the point, is he going to make Gustafsson expendable, who is a very good goalie in his own right? Maybe not now. Maybe that's something they discussed in the summer. But, I think it's clear that this guy is their future in goal if it's not already here.
So that's a beer because you said you wanted to say round, right? But you can't.
Yeah, just because of he's played less games than some of the other top goalies, and I just wonder if that's going to come into play.
Anthony, that was a factor that I wasn't even considering at the moment, but I'll go to Phil first.
Shot. The game's requirement is, listen, eye test, like Anthony said before, would tell you that this guy's playing like the best goaltender in the NHL right now. He's been phenomenal. He's one of the big reasons for Minnesota being where they are, because Phil Gustafsson has not had the greatest season. And that's a guy that we all thought was probably going to be near the top of the Vezina Trophy voting. But Volstead, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, the Wall, St. Paul, he's been great for them. He's been absolutely phenomenal. If he comes away with the lion's share of the games by the end of the year and he has like 50 plus starts, I think he can win the Vezina. But the clear-cut front runner right now, no, absolutely not. It's not the clear-cut front runner right now. Again, as Anthony alluded, he's played there are guys that have doubled him in games played. Doubled. Like an over double. Like Shesterkin has 22. I mean, you want to look at. I mean, Swayman's at 18. Wedgwood is at 19 right now, and he's got a .920 save percentage and a .207 goals against. So Wedgwood is not only leading in wins, but I think he's first in save percentage among all qualifying goaltenders that would qualify as starters right now. I mean, I don't know if Jesper Wallstedt meets the qualifying numbers for starters. I mean, and Wedgwood's got a .207 goals against. I mean, and then you got to look at saves. Shesterkin leads the NHL in saves right now at 558. The closest to him is 50 saves behind, and that's Spencer Knight in Chicago. Swayman has 504. Those are the only three with 500. So, I mean, he has not faced the workload that other goaltenders have faced, and that's going to come into a factor. So, but you know what? I do like what he's doing. He's shown why Minnesota, took him in the first round of that draft. I tell you right now, you know who's kicking themselves?
The Oilers.
Oh, yeah. You don't think that they would want to have Jesper Wallstedt over Xavier Bourgault? What a terrible trade that was for them. I mean, we are talking flaming bag of dog shit level trade. Like, remember how I called that? Remember the first time I used that, Anthony? Remember what trade it was?
Nah, I don't.
And you guys used to love cracking on me for this, but it was the Jack Johnson trade from LA to Carolina to LA.
Yeah.
And how they traded and how they traded, what was it, Oleg Tverdovsky and something else and got Jack Johnson for it. But it's been like that level of trade. Like that's just a trade that you're gonna look back on in 10 years and you're going to be like, what were they thinking? Like, you needed a goaltender. You needed a goaltender so badly back then, and you traded one away. And there's like this thread that I saw on Twitter, and it's a bunch of Oilers fans like absolutely crashing out because they wanted Wallstedt, and they traded it. And you could see the reactions when they took Bourgault, and you could just feel the despair set in on them because they knew like something was happening. So.
And not only did they take Bourgault, but they also took him before Wyatt Johnson, who went to Dallas.
Oh, yeah. It's bad enough to take Brennan Othman before Wyatt Johnston when you're scouting Will Cooley and he's on a line with him. But you needed a goaltender, and you took Bourgault, and you also passed on Wyatt Johnston. Man, if this was press your luck, your screen would be filled with double whammies.
Yes. And by the way, to go further into that, talking about a franchise that needs a center, the New York Rangers, number one. They've always needed a center for a while. They've been looking for
that boils my blood.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go beer on this one as well. So that is a hat trick. So let's go ahead. Let's put that up. Actually, no, wait, Phil said shot. Sorry about that. But I think, and I'm sorry to use this comparison just because it sounds like such a homer comparison. This is almost like Henrik Lundqvist 05-06, where he wasn't exactly the starter to begin, and then they started putting him in, and then they started kind of putting things together, and then before you knew it, you had a superstar on your hand, and he took the job away, and he actually received more votes for the Vezina Trophy than he did for Rookie of the Year that year. And for me, still the Rookie of the Year, and we're going to do our midseason awards in about a month, but the Rookie of the Year is not far from here. in UBS. But in this particular case, I think Wallstad's kind of knocking on that door. He's knocking on the door to get in there as both in the Vezina Trophy nomination, because all they got to do is keep playing him. And you know what? It could be as simple as a Gustafsson injury, and he's not exactly the most healthy goaltender he's not been a workhorse his entire career. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him. Also, who knows? By the way, IMDb lists him as Wallstead, although I do think Anthony is right. It could also be Wallstead, depending on the pronunciation. But this is one of those things that right now, the wall of St. Paul, as I said before, he is just absolutely just doing it for Minnesota. I really wish I could come up with a superlative to throw in there that doesn't sound so cliche, but you know what? Keep it going, kid. And we might have a bigger discussion for Rookie of the Year at the end of the year, especially with him now throwing his hat in there. But he does need to play more games. I agree with you guys on that. I was ready to say yes, but Anthony quickly changed my mind when he talked about the games played. But Phil, let's go to the Pacific, where we look at the Pacific and the standings in there. That's another division that's getting a little bit tighter. 5 points separate first through fifth, with Anaheim 33 points, Vegas 32, LA 31, San Jose 29, and Seattle at 28. All those are currently in playoff position, by the way, with the 2 wild cards going to San Jose and Seattle. But the question is, the San Jose Sharks will grab a top 2 spot in the Pacific.
Wow. I'm going to say I love what's going on there. I do think that they are absolutely headed in the right direction. We're going to talk about one of their players in a little bit, but I don't know. I'm going to say Beer because I could see LA falling off. I mean, this is Anze Kopitar's last year. They have a minus. Both these teams are minus in goal differential, which is something you like to reference often, and I do agree with referencing it. It's a good stat to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust Seattle. I'll tell you that right now. I think that what they're doing is not sustainable. They just don't have enough offense. 59 goals is not great. San Jose is one of a few teams with 80 or more in the West. Anaheim has just been an absolute wagon, and Leo Carlson is just the leader there. But for me, it comes down to San Jose and LA right now, and I still wonder about Edmonton, just because I think that they can be that team. I never like to sleep on that team, just because at any point McDavid and Draisaitl can explode, and then you're just sitting there looking like an idiot with egg on your face. Beer, going in the right direction, though. I like it. I just think that they're a couple of pieces away from really taking that step and being that playoff team. But the fact that they are where they are right now, after being where they've been the last few years, it's a really good sign if you're a Sharks fan.
It is a really good sign. And again, we've been singing the praises of Mike Greer for the last month, because now his vision is starting to kind of come to fruition. I got to go Beer too, because while youthful exuberance is there, I'm going to get to one thing I think San Jose might have in its advantage over some other teams in that division. But will the Kings and their structure end up holding up? The Kings are a great road team. They're bad at home. The Ducks are a good home team. They're okay on the road. The Vegas Golden Knights, I have no idea what's going on with them. And obviously, you said Seattle. Seattle's going to fall off. I just don't see it. And, Edmonton, you try to bury them, then they surprise you and they go on a run. So, but San Jose quietly is becoming a very good home team. 9-4-3 at home. And a 4-7 record on the road, that's a little bit more tolerable. And I think they could actually still ride a good home record and get into the playoffs and be in the top 3. I'm still inclined to say no to this question. I'll give them a chance. In the top 2, no. I still think Vegas is going to figure it out. They got Carter Hart now in net, which there's a lot of thoughts about that. I'm not exactly certain on them. So you have to go beer. All right. We're going to skip one more question. We didn't do a Rangers bar talk today, guys, but we'll be talking plenty more on that later. But let's go on to the Big Apple Hockey Pickups.
I've got a gut feeling.
You want me to do 2 things? Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now shoot!
And welcome back, everybody, to Big Apple Hockey's Pick'ems, where we're going to give you a couple choices. You're going to have to choose. And there is no beer in this one. We have to make a choice. So I was a little bit redundant in that sentence, but I didn't make a choice. That was part of the problem. Phil, we'll start with this one, and we'll stay with a guy that played or that's playing with Anaheim right now. A bigger surprise this season, Morgan Geekie or Beckett Seneca?
Wow. This was tough. I think I'm going to have to go with Geekie just because I was somebody who questioned whether or not his production was sustainable last year with that 30-goal season. I know when we did our season previews and we talked about Boston, that was something that I talked about because of the lack of offensive firepower behind David Pastrnak. That was my biggest concern for that team. So I'll have to say Geekie, but Seneca is a major surprise in the sense that I didn't think he would be this good this quick. Like he's right now leading all rookies in scoring. And I mean, to be fair, he's playing in Anaheim's top 6. Leo Carlsson is one of the best players in the NHL right now, and nobody thought that was going to happen this soon. Seneca was a high pick. It's a very, very high pick. Let him just do it, Mark.
Oh, no, yeah. I was trying to get Anthony right back in.
I know, but yeah. But it's Seneca is just it's a revelation for them. And he's also another reason why Anaheim is in the division lead. I mean, it's not just Leo Carlsson. It's when you look at Anaheim's lineup up and down, and they're getting production from all different sources. It's kind of an all hands on board type thing in Anaheim right now. Look at Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider is having a rebound year after the year that he had, to be expected. I mean, he now has 13 goals in 22 games, but he's still on pace for over 40 goals. He's on pace for about 45 goals. Troy Terry, 29 points in 26 games. Mason McTavish has cooled down a little bit, but I expect that to go back up. I think he'll finish with close to a point per game. The biggest surprise for me on Anaheim is not even him, honestly. It's Jackson Lacombe. 40 points last year, and he's on pace for about a little more than what he had last year. But I thought this would be a guy that would be on pace for 50, 60 points right now. Now, he's about 40, but you expected him to take that, next step. So I got to go Geekie here. I mean, Geekie scoring as many goals as he has. That's incredible, man. Good for him.
Anthony, who's the bigger surprise here?
Pretty much everything Phil just said. At least with Seneca, you could say that he was a high pick and he was a young player or upside. With that said, he's still surprising. I didn't think he was going to be this good this early, but it's Morgan Geeky. I mean, he had a good year last year, but the clip that he's scoring at right now, it's just unbelievable. I didn't expect it.
20 goals in 28 games.
Yeah, I'll start with Seneca, and I'll say this. He's got 1 goal in about the last month since November 9th, but he's been putting up assists left and right, and that's what's great about him. I have to side with you guys to say Geeky because you look at what he's done his last couple games without Pasternak in the lineup. This is Morgan Geeky. This isn't Pasta. He's got 3 goals without him in the lineup, 5 points. Like, I mean, the focal point in the offense is now on him, and yet now he's showing he could produce. So I really like what Geeky's done. Both these guys are amazing in what they've done, but we'll stick with this. All right. Who will step up more from here on out? Will Smith or Austin Matthews?
No, it's not who will step up. It's who has stepped up more.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, who changed it to Matthews?
Oh, I didn't change it. Who's it supposed to be?
Anthony, you changed this, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
It was Matthew Nyes. That's right. The full mark.
Matthew Nyes, yeah. Anthony, it was Matthew Nyes now. And with that,
can't fool Phil, but I fooled Mark.
No, I knew what happened there.
All right, so let's try this one again. Who has stepped up more, Will Smith or Matthew Nyes? Anthony.
So, yeah, this is crazy because when you look at San Jose and, the part of the reason for their success, it's not just Macklin Celebrini. It's a dynamic duo. We're kind of seeing, like, it almost reminds me of watching Solani and Korea in Anaheim in the mid-late 90s and how great they were together. These two are just unbelievable. Did you see the goal he scored the other night where he just absolutely walked 2 players and scored? He's just unbelievable, Will Smith. And a lot of the concerns about him was he going to be able to do the things that he did in college and at the USNDTP at the next level? And he's done that. He's done that and more. And he's got 27 points in 27 games right now. Like, this kid's real. But Matthew Nyes, I mean, for everybody talking about the loss of Mitch Marner, Matthew Nyes has been incredible for Toronto. 26 points, 6 goals in 23 games. And I mean, I don't know where the playmaking came from, because I always thought of Nyes as more of like the goal scoring type. You asked me, I thought he was going to be more of a power forward goal scoring type, but I mean, he's been really good. He's third in team scoring behind William Nylander and John Tavares on a team where Austin Matthews has been, dare I say, pedestrian.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to have to go Will Smith here just because, like, a second-year player having having the season he's had is unbelievable. And yes, I know Nyes is not exactly old by any means. I mean, he's in his, 4th season, I think this is. His third full year. He only played 3 games in 2020.
He's only 23.
So technically, it's like his 3rd season. But Nyes has been great. No knock at Matthew Nyes, but Will Smith for me, like, I don't think San Jose is where they are without Will Smith, because as much as you want to talk about Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith is a big part of that offense.
Anthony?
I mean, Bilk is bang on, but the only reason why I'm going to give it a different answer, and I guess is just my interpretation of it. So, like, when you say stepped up, like, the Leafs lost Mitch Marner. Like, they have expectations to be a contender, to win a cup. They lost a 100-point player. Matthew Nyes is at more than a point per game. like San Jose, like they weren't expected to be really good this year, and there was really no pressure on any of them if they kind of just were meh. So while Smith has been absolutely outstanding for me in this context, at least the way, like, again, I'm perceiving it, like the Leafs without Marner, that was a big hole to fill, a huge chunk of their offense they lost. And Matthew Knies with 26 points in 23 games. That's big because same thing without Smith's production, the Sharks aren't where they are. But if Matthew Knies didn't take a step forward and he's kind of just middling, the Leafs would be even worse than they're kind of playing right now, which would, I mean, at least right now in their stratosphere of getting back into it. If Knies wasn't doing what he's doing, combined with Marner leaving, they're probably even worse.
Yeah, and I think with San Jose being in playoff position, that's why I'm going to go Will Smith. People talk about all the time when you have players that have to play with great players. Like they're like, oh, well, it's easy. He's playing with so-and-so. Well, sometimes it's hard for great players to play together. And you get Will Smith, who just makes it so easy for Macklin Celebrini. And the two of them clicked so well. And I'm going even back to that Dumb and Dumber sketch that they had on Instagram. So on and off the ice, that they have just been together and been fantastic. I'm going to go Will Smith. You kind of saw the progression later on in the year last year. And now it's carried over into this season. And good for San Jose. Anthony, we're going to go to you in this one first. Team Canada. Which defenseman would you rather have on the roster? Shea Theodore or Matthew Schaefer?
I mean, this is tough because like we all know Matthew Schaefer's in consideration because he was asked to participate in all like the drug testing and stuff for it. So he's under consideration. Will he ultimately make it? I mean that I don't know. But for me, when you're comparing Matthew Schaefer to other defensemen and trying to like compare their game and saying who's doing what, I always go back to, yes, Shea Theodore is having a very good year. He's a very good defenseman. But Matthew Schaefer is 18 years old and he's got more points than him. Not just him, he's got points in a lot of very good defensemen in the National Hockey League. So like there are a lot of great defensemen who deserve to make Team Canada and probably are. I mean, my guess, honestly, is Schaefer falls short, which I get. You know, he's 18, and you know it's a big thing. And the same conversation we're having with should Bedard make it and all this stuff and Celebrini, and I think one of those guys is going to miss it. And you know, you might want to call a snub, which it will be, but again, to have such an important tournament and a young player like that, sometimes it scares GM. So if Schaefer's not selected, I get why. But with that said, he's 18 and he's already one of the best defensemen in the entire National Hockey League and producing points like he is. 8 goals, 19 points, playing in all situations. You know, if you look at his performance cards, they're like, it almost looks like a video game because all of his metrics are outstanding too. So I'm gonna say Schaefer just because he's just because of his age and he's already better than practically almost anybody else. But I'm gonna say he's probably will because Mark, you did a good job here. They both play the left side, so I think they're ultimately going to take Theodore if it came down to either or, just because the veteran experience and you know he won before. But that doesn't mean that Schaefer's less deserving or whatnot, because he absolutely is.
Phil, which one would you go with?
So is this which one would I rather have, or who do I think is going to make it?
Which one would you rather have?
Schaefer. And I don't even have to think about it. I'm sorry. I just don't. I like Shea Theodore. I have nothing against Shea Theodore. Shea Theodore is actually having an okay year. I mean, 16 points in 26 games is nice. It's good. It's over a 40-point pace, probably even a 50-point pace. But after the year that he had last year, where he had like 57 points in 67 games, you want him to have something more. I think that, I mean, and there's an argument for it the other way. you would rather see Shea Theodore get the spot because Matthew Schaefer is going to make Team Canada the next time around, provided he continues to play like this, which everybody thinks he will. And I don't see why he wouldn't. But if you ask me who impacts the game more, I think it's Schaefer. I think it's Schaefer. I think Theodore is probably better defensively. I think Schaefer is better defensively than I thought he would ever be at this point. But I still think he has some holes that he needs to work on in his game. But I'm not going to lie, I'm biased. A kid that lost his mother at 17 years old, just like I did, to the same disease. I mean, I have a soft spot for the kid. I can't lie. He's one of my favorite players to watch in this league right now. That's not on the Rangers, but and even overall. But I still think that he's a tremendous kid. That I think if he made it, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be very happy for him, and I think he is deserving. I think that the problem is that kind of like in college when you go into college hockey, how like guys like Jerry York, who was at Boston College, longtime legendary college hockey coach, they would play their seniors and their juniors over their underclassmen, and that's to be expected. I think that might end up happening here. I just think that Schaefer just coming in and being still a relatively unproven player, they might say, hey, you know what? We don't think you're ready yet, kid. In 4 years, you're going to be on this roster. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I think that's going to be the conversation with him. But I absolutely would take him over Shea Theodore right now because you can put him on a third pairing, give him the experience, shelter his minutes, and he's still going to be playing against the best of the best. He does that right now for the Islanders. I mean, he plays big minutes for them. But I do think that I think Romanello might be right about this last part. I think they might take somebody who's a little more of a grizzled veteran who plays a little more of a rugged stay-at-home game, just because it's a safer pick. Yeah. And not only that, but if the rumors are true or what's being reported, I should say, is true about them playing on a smaller rink, that might benefit someone like that over somebody like Schaefer, even though, like, if you think about it, he can cover less ground in even a shorter time just because his skating is phenomenal. But I personally, I take Schaefer. I don't think about it. I take Schaefer.
A month ago, I would have said Theodore very easily. Don't even think about it twice. Because if I recall this correctly, guys, didn't Theodore's injury lead to Thomas Harley coming into the Four Nations last year? So, I mean, maybe health might be a factor in this one. Because, I mean, Schaefer obviously is going to be young and the strapping young lad who's going to be raring to go and healthy. But I would take Schaefer. I don't think he's going to be fazed by the international tournament. I think he's going to be energized. And you're going to want a kid like that in your locker room. You want somebody walking around with so much positivity. We've been singing his praises for the last 2 months, and rightfully so. And it's only going to get more praiseworthy sooner than later, especially when it comes to him. So, guys, back in October, I played a clip at the very beginning of it. Mika Zibanejad in overtime got a feed for Artemi Panarin, whiffed on the shot, and Toronto went the other way and got the game-winning goal in overtime. Monday night, I forget the rest of Koo's name, the kicker for the Giants. Yeah. He literally missed the ball, hit the ground, and they ended up where the Giants couldn't get a field goal at the end. So, Filk, I'll start with you since you're the Giant fan. Which one is more embarrassing? Mika's whiff that led to the game winner, or Koo's trip that led to the holder getting sacked?
I would say the trip. It's got to be the trip. That happens in hockey.
Yeah.
Puck bounce, players whiff. Yeah, and it sucks that it ended in a game winner for Toronto, but that's something you almost never see in football. You never see a kicker hit the ground with his foot and then trip. And that's just, man, if that isn't the Giants season in a nutshell as a Giants fan, I don't know what is. But it's definitely the Giants for me. Oh, man.
Anthony, which one's more embarrassing?
It's cool. I was flabbergasted when I saw it. I never saw anything like that before. I was like, what did I just watch? Yeah. I'm nothing else to say.
See, I've seen it where the kicker gets up there and the ball's moving slightly, and like then it throws off his rhythm, they'll say, and you can't just step in and just kick it. You can't wait for the ball to be steady and kick it because it's all about timing with that. So I mean, I compared it to my wedge in golf and just how when I miss it sometimes after a great drive. But I understand this advantage. I'm probably going to go with Koo on this at the end because after the miscommunication or the mess up, whichever one you want to call it, then somebody gets tackled because of you. And in the same way, similar to this, Mika just fans on the shot and it goes the other way. And it's easy tap-in game-winning goal for Austin Matthews. And Igor is kind of looking over going, really, Mika? Really? So I've done this a million times playing golf where I've swung and I missed. And then you try to pretend like, oh, I meant to do that. But this one, Koo's miss is pretty damn bad. And he was a pretty good kicker.
Yeah, it's bad when Jets fans are even like, that hasn't happened to us.
Well, let's stop debating on which is worse. Let's argue about which is best. Somebody threw this one out to me, Anthony, and I want to hear your thoughts. Better career in Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux or Sidney Crosby?
Yeesh. Man, I love Lemieux.
I just want to say the fact that we're having this conversation and that pause says a lot about Sidney Crosby.
I mean, heck yeah. I mean, Crosby is phenomenal. I mean, the guy came as advertised. Like, this is not a bad thing to say about him. But I mean, call it just because I'm older, or I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go Mario Lemieux just because he's Super Mario, and he can't hold it against Crosby. Thankfully, knock on wood, he's been healthy. Aside from concussions, he's been healthy. But I mean, the Lemieux battled cancer and came back and dominated, and you just have to consider that. And the guy is back, so he couldn't tying his skates, similar like Bossy. Like it's just it's Lemieux. I mean, if not for a guy named Wayne Gretzky. I mean, you could make the case that Mario Lemieux is hands down the best player of all time. So, I'm going to go Lemieux. No sliding Crosby. He's been fantastic. Just like Lemieux did, he saved the Penguins franchise. But it's Mario.
Phil?
Mario. I mean, no disrespect to Sidney Crosby, who I think is certainly within the top 10 of all time. Mario is in my top 4, for sure. And the only guys that I'll say that you can even argue that would be better at Gretzky or for sure. And then if you want to have the argument about how and the way that he dominated the game, his dominance and relevance to his peers, then I could see how over Lemieux. But Mario is. We talk about Gretzky and how everybody's like, oh, well, Gretzky was a byproduct of his time. No, Gretzky was the reason his time was as high scoring as he was. And the only other guy that came close to him in that era wasn't Mike Bossy, wasn't Peter Stastny. It was Mario Lemieux. And Mario Lemieux's trophy case says it all. I mean, he has 5 Art Ross trophies. Six Art Ross trophies. He has 3 MVPs, 4 Pearsons, 2 Conn Smythes, same as Crosby. He has more Pearsons, more Harts, more Art Rosses than Crosby. He won the Masterton in 93 in a year that he missed 24 games and still won the scoring race by 12 points over Pat LaFontaine, who had the greatest season an American player has ever had. Think about that. Think about that. He would have absolutely shattered Wayne Gretzky's single season points total of 215 points had he not missed 24 games. 24 games. Think about that. And then what does he do in 1996? He takes off all of 1995. He comes back and he has another 2-point per game season where he scores about a goal per game. It's nuts.
And there's more you could say about that season.
What?
That he led the league in goals, assists, and points.
Yeah, he was the last Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
He was the last player to do it. So, I mean, it just, listen, I will always say Gretzky was the best, but Mario, there is somewhat of an argument for him for being the best. I will always say that Mario is the prototypical hockey player. If I could build a player from scratch and have him be the perfect player, I would literally just say, here's Mario Lemieux. There's your guy.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about, if we're talking about career, do we talk about post playing as well? Because what does Mario mean to the city of Pittsburgh? And we talk about Crosby and how he helped save Pittsburgh. The guy who put that plan in motion is the guy that wore 66. The guy that turned, and here's the craziest part. You never heard the story about this. You want to know how that whole thing happened? He turned $30 million of deferred salary that he was owed into an ownership stake.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He made the smartest business decision that any professional sports athlete has probably ever made. Because he's made hundreds of millions of dollars off of $30 million. The guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
What else is there to say? I mean, it's, again, no disrespect to Crosby, who is, again, a top 10 player of all time. Yeah, yes, the team was about to move, but then he came in and he saved it. And yeah, I have some thoughts about this. I definitely have some thoughts about that. But if not for Mario, if he doesn't come in, what happens to this team? Do they go to Kansas City? Do they go somewhere else? Do they go to Vegas? I mean, listen, I don't know. But Mario, it's Mario for me, and I don't think it's close. I'm sorry, I don't.
One of my favorite goals he scored was when he abused Ray Bourque
in the 1992 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Stupid.
To do that a guy against a guy as good as Bourque was just.
I can still see Ray Bourque stumbling, trying to turn around, trying to catch Mario. And then Mario just putting the puck through his legs, blowing past him and absolutely abusing Andy Moog.
Well, he kind of did the same thing. I think it was against Minnesota when he went.
He made two
Sean Chambers, and I can't remember who the other one was, but I know one of them was Sean Chambers for sure.
Yeah.
And Lemieux just made it look so easy. Look, it's a testament that Sidney Crosby is even in this conversation. Let me start by saying this. If Sidney Crosby could vote in this, Sidney Crosby saying Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups. So team success, he's up there. He's one of the best players of his generation, which was a damn good generation. But when Lemieux, and in my opinion, Sidney Crosby is the 6th best player of all time. Mario Lemieux is 4th. I don't budge on that. My top 10 has trouble from 7 to 10. You can't even go with supporting cast because you can't go, well, Crosby's had Malkin and he had player X and player Y. You know, Mario Lemieux, Tom Barrasso, Ron Francis, Jaromir Jagr, Paul Coffey, Larry Murphy. I mean, we could go on. Mark Recchi and Rick Tocchet.
I still say that 91 team was more talented than any of the Edmonton Oilers teams ever.
Probably, yeah. And that 92 team, I mean, it says something. The 3 longest winning streaks in NHL history were in the 92 and 93 season. And the first one was the 93 one, we know the Canadiens team of the ultimate team of destiny, the 93 Montreal Canadiens. But the 92 season, you had the Blackhawks go on their run in the first round. They end up going on to the Stanley Cup Finals against a team that erased their 11-game win streak with an 11-game win streak of their own. They won 8 in a row at the time over the Rangers and sweeping the Bruins. And then going on and winning the Stanley Cup at 4. And, of course, what we all remember about that Stanley Cup Finals was Mike Keenan looking over at the bench and saying, Dominik Hasek, get in there. And watching the Dominator then kind of announce himself to the world at that time. So it is so close to nitpick this when you nitpick it, though my gut just says, Mario, come on. It's the biggest what ifs in the world is what if Mario Lemieux never had health problems? If he was healthy, and health is a factor, as I constantly say, health, he would be the greatest player of all time. Probably Wayne Gretzky would say it too, but you got to love what both these guys brought to the city of Pittsburgh. And now I'm thinking about it, guys. You can make a good argument that the 2 best athletes, and this is the only city where you could say this, the 2 best athletes to ever go through their cities are both hockey players. And
I mean, Terry Bradshaw's going to have a case.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw's going to have a case. I mean, Roethlisberger could have a case. Mean Joe.
I don't think. Terry Bradshaw is by far the best Steelers quarterback ever.
Yeah, but I mean, what these 2 guys mean to the city of Pittsburgh, never mind just the Pittsburgh Penguins franchise, is immeasurable to say the least.
By the way, it was actually future Mario teammate Neil Wilkinson that was the other defenseman that Mario absolutely abused on that play. Sean Chambers was the one that absolutely fell down and just, yeah. Funny enough, Chambers was one of the few players that was on both Minnesota/Dallas teams to go to the finals and win. So,
guys, so Phil, you alluded to this before we go to Puck Doku or anything. You alluded to this, and I want to hear what you guys have the thoughts on this and expand on it. But what's going on currently with the stadium in Italy?
So there's controversy over it because supposedly the rink was supposed to be smaller than NHL size, but the players, the NHL might not send players over if it's smaller than that. It's currently kind of in flux right now. I imagine that if all gets settled and the rink will be the right size, and then they'll send everybody over. So.
Anthony, but what happens if they don't send the players over?
I don't know. You and your men's league team go and represent USA.
K-Stars go.
My apologies to anybody that'll be watching then.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even think the league's gotten that far. I think it would really take a catastrophe for that to happen. I think they've had concerns with the construction. The rink has taken a little longer to be completed. I still don't think it is completed. And as Phil said, there might be some, because they're running behind and everything, they might say, yeah, it might be like 3 feet shorter. So I don't know. But yeah, listen, I think the Olympics are going to go on without a hitch and the players will be there. It's just something to think about.
Yeah, it's just hearing about that. That's a scary thing. Thinking that might be smaller than an NHL rink. Now, when they're saying smaller, are we talking about Boston Garden size, or we're talking about like, yeah?
I don't know. I mean, well, on top of other NHL news and notes, because it came out before on the show, but Tyler Sagan's out for the year, torn ACL.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised by.
Yep.
Maria kept checking on his status yesterday. They said lower body injury. Yeah, and because we were right there, we watched it, and I didn't exactly see it, but
it sucks when a guy goes down with an injury like that because it's a season killer. It's it's
completely
but
accidental play too.
Yeah.
Like a seemingly again innocuous collision. Really didn't think anything of it, and then just that ends up happening.
Yeah.
Hoping for a full recovery for Tyler.
And I guess pertaining to the Islanders, we mentioned JG Pageau was week to week, but he was skating yesterday in a no contact jersey, so that's a good sign. He's getting closer, so hopefully they get him back soon because they've missed him for sure.
Anthony, with the play of Callum Ritchie and the opening that the Palmieri injury could create, will you just slide Pageau into his spot?
Whose spot?
Into Palmieri's spot.
No, Pageau will take back the 3C role. I mean, the guy is one of the best face-off men in the league. He's their best matchup center. No, so Pageau will go back to 3C, and they'll probably move Ritchie back down to the fourth line center role. I don't see any other spot for him.
All right, they wouldn't use Callum Ritchie to go up to play the Palmieri spot then. All right.
No, the Shabanov's on that spot, and he's been very good next to Horvat. So no, they won't use him there.
Every time I ever hear his name, I think it's like a cartoon character saying it, like or even like Adam Sandler going Shabanev. Yeah, you got a Shabanev. All right. Let's go do some puck doku, guys. Let's see what we got right here. Phil, if you would expand on that. All right, guys, for our top access, the X-axis, we have the Winnipeg Jets / Atlanta Thrashers. I always have to clarify that. The Edmonton Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. And the Y-axis, the Columbus Blue Jackets 20-goal season and the defenseman.
Okay, I've got the bottom row. For the Thrashers / Jets, you could do Peter Buzek.
For where? Thrashers a bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it Peter
with just an R? Yeah, PETR, and then Buzek, BUZEK.
There he is.
It wouldn't be puck doku without Constant Crossman. So Mark fill in Crossman for Blues defenseman.
I was going to say Blues defenseman. Kurt Giles, you could do too. I believe.
Crossman's a staple of ours. Why not use them when we can?
Yeah, you got to use the Constant Crossman whenever you can.
Hey, hold on. Did he have 20 plus in a season? No, Crossman?
No, I don't think he scored 20 goals before.
I thought Crossman had a 20-goal season.
I could have sworn he did too.
I know Matthew Schneider did. I don't know about.
No, Crossman didn't. Sorry, I was gonna try to say because I know he had some big offensive seasons in like the late '80s. So,
all right. So we need
Oilers, I'm pretty sure you could probably use Anatoly Semenov for that one.
For defenseman?
Anatoly
he's
the center. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the center.
Kasatonov played for Edmonton.
Alexei Kasatonov?
No, he played for Jersey. That's right. I'm getting him confused.
Yeah, because he played with Fatizov.
For Edmonton, you could didn't Drake Barahowski played for them, I think?
How about let's go easy. Let's go to Corey Potter.
Corey Potter, that's a good one. Yeah, you could probably do that.
0.2%. I was a little bit nervous that he would be there. Okay, guys. Now 20-goal season, one of these guys.
20-goal season for any of these teams?
Mm-hmm.
Or does it have to be for that team?
It have to be for
It's got to be for the team that the stat was recorded.
Okay, so for St. Louis, put Tony McKegney.
Tony McKegney, 0.4%.
For Edmonton, you could put Zdeno Seeger.
Anthony, you like that one?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Up 0.7.
So now remember, this could be Atlanta or Winnipeg.
Correct.
Yeah, I was going to say the Atlanta one is interesting because I was thinking of some Thrashers that...
Ray Ferraro scored... Didn't he score almost 30 goals for Atlanta?
Yeah, but I think Ray Ferraro is going to be too high on the list.
Okay. I wasn't sure how many people remember him as an Atlanta Thrasher.
Well, I mean, I'm still thinking Donald Audette. He's another one. Too many people are going to remember
Andrew Burnett is
Kozlov.
another one you could use for them.
What was another one?
Andrew Burnett is another one you could use for them.
I got somebody that I'm not sure whether or not he's going to be that high. Because when you think of him, you don't think of Atlanta Thrashers. And that's Mark Savard.
No, he'll be higher because he had 2 of his best years in the NHL with them.
Well, yeah, because he had 97 points in coming out of the lockout with them.
I mean, his 06 and 07, his 06 and 07 seasons were really good.
Yeah, his 03-04 season, by the way, 52 points.
Did Vyacheslav Kozlov?
Yeah, I was just going to say Slava Kozlov. Oh, my God.
Did he score 20 goals for Atlanta, though?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
He's one. He might be popular, though.
I mean, I would say he's more popular than Donald Audette.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Audette
I wonder how high Peter Bondra would be.
I was going to say, did Peter Bondra score 20 goals for Atlanta?
He did. Yeah. He did. Yeah, I wonder how high he'd be.
Yeah, because there's a lot of gaps in this. All right, so you want to try Peter Bondra?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
All right, Peter Bondra, 0.9%. We're still under 1.
Nice. All right, so Thrashers and we got Blues and Blue Jackets. Anthony, this is where you would have Jeff Norton, correct?
Never played for Columbus.
Ah, damn it. I always mix him and Scott LaChance in that.
And I don't think Scott LaChance played for the Blues, right?
No, I think he played for the
Blue Jackets, so I mixed those.
Yeah, I know he played for the Blue Jackets. I don't think he played for the Blues.
Yeah.
I think I might have one for Columbus and Winnipeg / Atlanta. Serge Aubin, former Colorado Avalanche.
1%er.
Jeez, what the God, wow.
Like for Columbus, Edmonton, you can do Dick Tarnstrom.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think I'm a Blue Jacket.
There we go. And
Christian Backman would be too popular. Don't even do it.
Yeah.
Blue Jackets and Blues.
Obviously, Brennan
Scott
Saad.
Pellerin never played for Columbus, right?
Who?
Scott Pellerin never played for Columbus, right?
No, actually.
No, I don't think so.
Scott Pellerin played for a lot of teams. Columbus Blue Jackets were not one of them.
Did Cal Hulse play for St. Louis?
Cale Hulse?
Yeah.
I remember him with Calgary.
I know he played for Columbus very briefly at the end of his career. I don't know if he played for St. Louis though, or maybe I'm thinking of. No, he didn't.
No, he did not. By the way.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think he did. I do remember him with Calgary. Oh yeah, he did play for Nashville too.
By the way, Anthony, I know you mentioned him under your breath, but Darren Quint.
He didn't play for St. Louis.
Yeah, he never played for St. Louis. But Darren Quinn playing 5 games for the Islanders, not playoff eligible, was insane.
Did Trent Whitfield play for?
I remember him with Washington, and Jamie Heward never played for St. Louis.
Trent Whitfield never played for Columbus. There's definitely somebody obvious that we're missing because JD was the
Lyle Oderline never played for St. Louis, right? I remember he played for Columbus.
He's
in the
definitely a
early
Blue
days.
Jacket. He was definitely a Blue
No,
Jacket.
he never did.
No, he never did.
No.
Jamie Pusher. No,
Jamie Pusher, I don't think played for St. Louis. I know he was a Ranger for a very short time.
He did play for Columbus. Nope, didn't play.
No,
Never played for St. Louis.
He didn't.
That sucks because you could have used Pusher real good.
Oh God, Mark.
No.
Oh,
that's bad, Mark.
That's low. That's low, boys.
That's that. We're no.
Dave
Just
Scatchard.
no. I don't think Scatchard played for St. Louis. He played for Columbus.
St. Louis is the team he played for.
Rathwaite is going to be too obvious. State of survival. That's going to be too obvious. I'll tell you right now. That's definitely over 1%.
You know what? No. Damn it.
No, he did not.
He played 8 games for the Blues, but he never played for Columbus.
I mean, we got to think about where because JD was the president of both these clubs, though I guarantee there's some overlapping.
Yeah, and that's what you would think.
Yeah,
definitely think there's overlap somewhere.
There's definitely a guy that JD probably brought in. Say,
Jean-Luc Grandpierre never played for St. Louis, right?
I don't believe he ever did.
I don't think so.
He would have. You know what's funny? Jean-Luc Grandpierre, somebody that we could have used in that upper right-hand corner instead of Serge Aubin.
Could have.
Kevin Dineen? Did Kevin Dineen play for St. Louis?
That's a good question because I know he played for Columbus.
Yes, he did. I know he played for Columbus.
That I know for sure he played for Columbus.
I remember him as a Philadelphia Flyer. He did not play for the Blue Jackets.
Damn.
Sorry.
No,
he did play for St. Louis, I meant to say.
Rod Kelly?
I remember him with Jersey. I don't think he played for Columbus. I think he played for St. Louis.
No, he didn't play for either, actually. Damn.
He didn't play for either. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Had that vibe that he did, right?
No, I thought I read. No, you know who we were thinking of, Anthony? Cam Jansen.
Cam Jansen, yeah.
Jansen played for St. Louis for sure. Did he actually play? Hold on. Was he a Blue Jacket as well? No,
Definitely.
it was just Jersey and St. Louis.
I think I might have it, guys.
Okay.
Pretty good defenseman, Chris Russell.
Try it.
All right. Oh, or Curtis Sanford.
Go with Russell because goaltenders are easier to remember because there's not many people that play the positions. That's why.
Chris Russell, he was a 3%er.
Mark.
Oh,
that's all right.
We were told to go with it. Okay, let's see where we got it wrong.
Let me guess. It was taking a while, so you Googled Blue Jackets and Blues players, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Bracknell. Oh, my God.
Come on, Mark.
But
totally forgot about him.
Joachim Lidstrom?
Adam Cracknell. Damn.
Joaquin Lindstrom. That's another good one, too.
There's no way I was remembering.
Joaquin Lindstrom hasn't been out of the NHL that long either.
Derek McKenzie.
You got Kevin Stenlund, Jason Williams, Derek McKenzie. Phil, who was the guy you said you want? Jean-Luc Grandpierre would have been a 1%er, by the way.
All right.
That was for, yeah.
And even over here. So let's see.
Bondra Odette is less than Bondra. Brunette. Colby Armstrong.
And Rich Peverly.
You know what? I thought Colby Armstrong would be higher just because of the fact that he's in NHL media.
Yeah.
No, but
okay, on to the pyramid, boys.
yeah. Well, before we do that, I'll just read a post here from Matthew Mugno, who is a mutual of mine on Twitter. He writes for Forever Blue Shirts. Good follow if you guys don't follow him. His Twitter handle is Mugno, MUGNOMA, like short for Matthew. So follow him if you don't already. He wrote about 2 hours ago from Stape at NHL, which is Arthur Staple, friend of the show, personal friend of Anthony's as well. 12-1 on his December 1st episode of the Tri-State Hockey Report. Taylor Hall, 2011 number 1 overall, was the last number 1 overall pick to be traded 6 teams post Edmonton. And then Nail Yakupov, 2013. Patrick Kane was traded from traded from Chicago to the Rangers in 2023. Eric Johnson from St. Louis to Colorado, 3 seasons into the NHL. Last 12 number 1 overall picks have remained with the club that drafted them. Only for the last 20 years to be traded were Johnson, Kane, Hall, and Yakupov. 4 of 5 from 1999 to 2003. Stefan, Kovalchuk, Nash, Fleury were traded. And then only 4 first overall picks represent different teams from 2008. Steven Stamkos, John Tavares, Hall, and then Yakupov, because they were talking about Lafreniere being on pace for only 42 points. And Arthur Staples said that he needs a change of scenery because he blame whatever you want, whether it's him, whether it's whoever, but Arthur Staples is right about it. I think the door is closing on Lafreniere in New York.
Yes.
I think it's closing rather rapidly. I'm going to take these down real quick because I'm probably going to.
I have this terrible feeling that he's going to go somewhere and he's going to get it and he's going to be like, oh well, they'll wake up, and then that'll be his wake up call, just like JT Miller needed that wake up call, that kick in the ass, and then he'll finally figure it out someplace else, and he'll be like a 70 to 80 point player. He won't be a franchise altering player, but he'll be a good one for a team.
My question is, what exactly is his worth? He's not exactly playing himself into something the Rangers could parlay.
You are not wrong about this.
And
if I could slap him across the face and tell him to wake up, I'd do it myself because he needs to wake up.
This is one thing I made the joke about him on in one of our reels, that he's sort of like Gus Van Sant in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, just counting money since he signed his contract. And first off, Anthony, I know, is loving every minute of this because he called him a bust for the last few years.
I'm not.
Well, you're not loving it. I know what you mean, but you've been on this for a while and you've been saying this. And look, you thought he was going to take the next step last year, and he just. There's two things. He's not in a situation where this team has ever invested in him. Sorry, they still haven't. They still haven't. Now, one thing I do have to say, if he went to the Detroit Red Wings, and maybe there would be a different career that would have been there for him, but he was brought into the Rangers to basically be a role player. And when you're not really given an opportunity, by the time you give him the opportunity, it's been too late. It's over for him. He's not going to be anything in New York. I'll see it to you, Anthony.
No, I agree with you. I think honestly, it's almost coming to the point where I think it's beneficial for both sides to move on, because I think they're frustrated with him. I think he's frustrated with the fact that he hasn't really taken the next step and developed into a game changer. And listen, the longer you wait to do these things, the less and less value he gets. Like Phil said, he's on pace for 42 points. Let's say he finishes with 42 points, and who knows? Maybe he starts doing even less, and that drops, and he's on pace to score, 35 points, and he finishes with that. Can you imagine what it's going to do to his trade value? So I think he's gone this summer. I think he's gone this summer in a trade. Maybe this is just best case scenario, wishful thinking if you're a Ranger fan, but I mean, if you kind of read the tea leaves, Buffalo looks like they're not going anywhere. They're probably going to suck again. How long is it going to be before Tage Thompson said he wants to trade? And, maybe you use Lafreniere as a piece to get Tage Thompson. Now, granted, you're going to have to add. I mean, Tage Thompson is significantly value-wise more than Laf, but at least that's a good starting point, But, yeah, I don't know. I think his time in New York is certainly winding down.
It's frustrating because the ongoing joke I was telling people yesterday was, Mika Zibanejad tried to score. He didn't make it. Well, I tried a one-timer. Can you do anything else? I'm out of ideas. It's what Lafreniere is. Lafreniere just he tends to just go in on the rush and not really do anything else. I'm not a big fan right now of him. And look, he's going to be on. He's on his fourth coach already, and his first coach is the assistant coach next to the fourth coach. Makes perfect sense.
I still just that just baffles me to this day.
Yeah,
I don't see what any club sees in David Quinn. I don't. I don't.
I bought into David Quinn too originally, Philk. I thought he was a budding new coach, and then we started doing this show, and he's just been.
Special teams haven't been good under him.
Yeah, special teams are not great. They're only going to get worse.
I mean,
They're using 5 forwards on the power play. They're not using Alexei Lafreniere.
They didn't even bother to use Scott Morrow there when he was a guy that could have probably stepped in and did that. Oh, no, we're just going to use 5 forwards and risk having forwards take shorthanded chances on Artemi Panarin, which they have been doing because he doesn't give you really anything on defense.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's quickly do the pyramid, guys. I mean, again, I don't know what you're going to get for Alexei Lafreniere now. So as soon as he signed that extension, he's just been like, thanks, I'll take my money, I'll leave. Awesome. Great. You're a true professional. But also on the other hand, I don't think the Rangers ever invested in him. I'll stay with that. Let's get back to this and let's expand that up. Sorry, Anthony, I was covering your face for a second. Here we go. So we mentioned him before. This definitely is Paul Coffey at the top of the list, but it's also Larry Murphy as well.
There's others.
Larry Murphy, yeah.
Larry Murphy fits this.
Rob Scuderi is probably
Scuderi fits that.
Yeah, Rob Scuderi,
I think
Jack Johnson.
Yeah. Jack Johnson won with Colorado.
Yep.
I think.
My question is: did Michael Roosevelt ever play for the Kings?
Too?
What?
Did Paul Stanton play with? Was it Jimmy? No, Jimmy Pake. I think also played with LA.
The first one's always the easiest. Mark, just throw Gerald Diddick down there to start. Gerald Diddick.
The first Diddick is the deepest.
What the Mark? What is going on with you?
Oh, I don't know. I think I lost my mind a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Now it's 100-point player and a guy that's played in LA.
100 career points.
Does it have to be with LA?
No, I don't think so.
No, he just has to play at LA.
Any defenseman.
Corey Millen.
Corey Millen?
Corey Millen.
Corey Millen was a defenseman?
Well, it's not.
No.
It's not that you're not.
Oh, it's just. Oh, sorry. Defenseman's the next one.
And 100 points in his career.
My apologies. Corey Millen. So now a defenseman.
Constant Crossman.
Yeah, you could use Crossman there.
But actually, well, you could have used. I think Crossman also played 100 playoff games, but that's okay. So now a King.
How about Steve Duchesne?
Yeah, you could use Steve Duchesne. You could use Matthias Nordstrom. You could use. Did Darren Quint play for? No,
even Brent Sobel might have 100 games played too. Playoff games, but no, it's fine. Whoever you want to. I don't really think it matters here so much. Who are you going to use? No, you were going to use who?
Matthias Nordstrom. I was going to use just because I think we might need one of the other guys in a minute.
Matthew Schneider. You could use Matthew Schneider here too.
He played
Sobel doesn't meet the games played, Mark, for the playoffs.
Yes, Matthew Schneider played for the Kings. If that's what you're about to ask, Mark.
Yeah, Schneider does fit this. I know for a fact.
Let's go with Matthew Schneider. Get the New York native in there.
He never played for the Penguins, so you're not wasting him if you use him.
Yeah, I was about to say I know he never played for the Penguins. So Nordstrom
He's
doesn't
a one.
fit the game played.
All right, one. That's okay.
All right.
So now here, I mean, you could use Scuderi here. You could use him last column. You could use
Murphy and Coffee, people are going to think about right away. I think Johnson.
Does Gary Galley fit here too?
Gary Galley played for both of them. I don't think he has the playoffs though.
Let's take a look.
Gary Galley's a good one, Anthony.
He played a shit ton of games. And he
just missed. Yeah, 89. He had 89 playoff games.
Oh man, that would have actually been a great answer. No, it's not Sean McEachran, even though that's a good one because he played for both of them, but he's a forward.
Yeah. Well, we know we
would have needed to have used him for LA.
Between these last two, we know we could use Larry Murphy, Scuderi, Coffee, but it's just a matter of the order or if there's any more. If there's any
I don't think.
Did Kevin Hatcher play for LA?
No.
No. All right.
No, he went from Washington to Dallas to Pittsburgh to the Rangers, and then I think Carolina and Philly. Jimmy Pike didn't play enough games or have enough points. Defensemen that were both LA. Oof.
Jeff Norton never played for LA.
No, he never played. Did he play for Pittsburgh?
He did, yeah. Yeah.
Really? When did he play for Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, towards the end of his career. Oh, 2000, 2001. That was okay.
Zubov never played for both.
Yeah, Zubov played for Pittsburgh. He didn't play for LA. Zubov played for
I had to bring the name up. Did Steve Duchesne ever play for Pittsburgh?
No. We could have used him up until the one before Pittsburgh. We could have used him there.
You forget that he was on the 2002
Detroit
Stanley Cup champion Red Wings.
Yep. He was a depth defenseman for that team. Just imagine how good that team was to where Steve Duchesne was an afterthought for them.
And Steve Duchesne, if I recall correctly, was part of the Eric Lindros deal, right?
He was. You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
And in 92, 93, ended up having his best year. He had I think 26 goals and 85 points, if I remember correctly.
I'm still thinking going Rob Scuderi right here.
Yeah, I think that might be the best one because
I think I'll double check Jack Johnson to make sure that he fits. He definitely does, I think. Because
with 82 points in 82 games with Duchesne in 93.
He's got 100 career points. And Jack Johnson does not fit. Because Johnson has 82 playoff games, not 100.
No, Gonchar did not play for the Kings.
So really, we only have three guys that have fit this: Murphy, Coffee, and Scuderi.
You guys figure anything out yet?
Well, here's where I'd argue using Murphy right here.
Forward, we need a defenseman.
I would use Murphy right here, and then use Scuderi for the top.
I'm just trying to think if there's some of the guys. Sopel never played for Pittsburgh, right?
No.
Because I know he won a cup.
Sopel also didn't have enough playoff games.
He didn't?
No.
Because I know he went deep with Chicago a couple of times, so I thought maybe.
No, he didn't. He didn't have enough playoff games. Right. I think it was 80-something he had.
Goligoski?
That's actually a good one. I don't think he made the playoff line though.
Goligoski won a Stanley Cup, never played for the LA Kings.
Oh.
Daryl
Sador?
That's a good one because
that's a good one.
He played for both.
Both teams. He's got 100 playoff games.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So just think about placement. Do you want to use Scuderi here and then Sador up top?
I mean, I would do that then. I would do that.
Kasparaitis never played for LA.
Yeah, he never played for LA.
And he definitely didn't have 100 points.
All right, unique to score of 14. Now, here's what we got. Rob Scuderi was the number one answer up top.
Marty
McSorley.
We forgot about him. Holy shit.
You know what? I should have remembered him because I always tell that story about Marty McSorley playing on both teams. Then you have Sador would have been the best answer on that other one.
Wow.
Now, was it this one we were talking about that we went with?
You just say didn't have 100 points?
Kasparaitis.
Kasparaitis had 100 career points.
He did?
Yeah.
He never played for LA.
He never played for LA. Kasparaitis definitely had 100 career points.
All right, so Scuderi that makes sense right there, him and Murphy, because that's the answer at the end.
Kasparaitis had 163 career points.
More than
McNabb, John Clem, and then going down here, Doughty was always the number one. But you still could have done anybody from basically LA's history.
Yeah.
So, all right. Back it out of there. Let's look at our faces again. All right. So that was a nice, good game.
I have quicker ones too.
Mark, you have in your brain power. Do you have some guesses for obscurities? Because I got 3 players for you.
I could do guesses. I didn't prepare any players this week, guys. So
well, you're lucky that I always have them. I always have them ready for the Mariota man.
All right, I like it. So here we go. Let's do obscurities, players, and the teams they played on.
Hold on. Let me just tee the first so I can get the list in front of me to verify your guesses.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Mark, let me just write your name here and your guesses. All right. All right. Want me to do the timer, Phil, or you gonna do the timer for me?
You do the timer because I'm trying to think of ones too. We're doing games played limit, right? We have to have a games played minimum.
Yeah, we said 100 games played minimum.
I would say at least like 100 games.
Yeah, I would say at least 100 games.
All right, Mark. Once I say the name, I'm gonna hit start. So,
okay.
Ready? John Sim.
Okay. Dallas Stars.
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
No.
Winnipeg Jets.
No.
Well,
I'm pausing it. Does the Atlanta Thrashers count? We said we are counting.
Yeah, I think we established that. What was it, last week or the week before that? If you say, if you say the other team that somehow falls under,
he never played for the Jets, but he played for the Thrashers. All right, I'm gonna hit resume. 41 seconds. Go.
Okay.
Wait, are we doing 30 seconds?
We're doing 30 seconds, so I have 11.
Mark got a freebie this time. All right, well, third, keep going.
Okay. I'm blanking anyway. St. Louis Blues.
No.
I'll tap out since I'm over my time.
New York Islanders was one of them.
All right, you're giving up that much time. All right, yeah, you got the Predators, the Kings, the Penguins, the Flyers, the Panthers, the Islanders.
Oh, God, I had so many. I was dragging ass on it. I remembered him distinctly as a Dallas Star.
That wasn't a good showing for the Mariota man.
No, it was not. Only 2 points.
All right. Let me fix this to 30 seconds. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
I expect a better showing on this one.
I hope so.
All right. Dean McCammond.
Dean McCammond. Ottawa Senators.
Yes.
Calgary Flames.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
New York Islanders.
Yes.
Boston Bruins.
No.
LA Kings.
No.
Dean McCammon.
Out of time.
Yeah.
You got 3. You missed
Chicago.
Yeah. Team is Chicago, Edmonton, Colorado.
I forgot he was on Colorado completely.
All right, your last player, Mark. You ready?
I'm ready.
Nate Thompson.
Nate Thompson, Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Islanders, Anaheim Ducks,
Yes.
Pittsburgh Penguins,
No.
Buffalo Sabres,
No.
St. Louis Blues,
No.
San Jose Sharks,
No.
LA Kings.
Yes.
All right.
Done.
Yeah.
So you missed. You got 4. You missed the Boston Bruins, the Montreal Canadiens, Philadelphia Flyers, Winnipeg Jets.
I remember when he was on the Islanders and he missed that open net in that game against the Rangers.
Yeah. So you got a total of 9 points.
Yeah, not the best showing. I had 15 last week, so
I got
confident.
3 for Phil if he's not too busy looking up ones for us.
All right, yeah, I'll go ahead.
All right, I have the timer, Anthony.
I will let you know when I'm ready. I just verify that he had enough teams played for, because I know we said we need at least 4 teams played for, right?
Yeah, we want to have at least 4.
Use 4. Oh, it's gonna be. All right. This one's kind of easy to start. I think he might hit this one out of the park here. All right, Mark, you have the time, right?
And hold on, I'll open it up. Yeah, I got the timer ready.
All right. Brent Sopel.
Vancouver, LA, Chicago,
Yes.
Islanders,
Yes.
Pittsburgh,
No, 2 more.
Arizona,
No.
Florida,
No.
Calgary,
No.
Colorado,
No.
Carolina,
No.
5.
Tampa,
No.
Buffalo,
No.
Philadelphia.
Time.
No. Atlanta and Montreal.
Fuck. All right, so that was 4 from that.
4, yeah.
Yeah, immediately I was shaking my head going, why couldn't I have gotten Brent Sopel?
Well, I mean, you got Dean McCammon. That's.
I also got Nate Thompson and blew it.
You what?
I got Nate Thompson and blew it.
Yeah, because Thompson actually played for a decent amount of teams. So
I'm trying to give you both even like a couple of harder ones and then one that's a little easier than the other too. I'm not trying to like overkill you guys either.
Yeah, I know. That's
Like-
why you want to make it where it's not like totally.
Not to offend Nate Thompson, I think he's a poor man's Dominic Moore.
No, he carved out a
Pretty good career.
pretty decent career.
Yeah. Like I said, not to knock him.
No, he was only 4. I had to replace him. I thought he was 5. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I've got 6. I've got 3 for each of you. So
All right, if we could speed this up a little bit, guys, because I gotta get going soon.
all right.
Marcus Mario's got big plans.
Well, in a way, nothing is big plans. But
Okay. All right, I got. Let me just move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're good. All right. You ready with the timer, Mark? When I say the
ready.
Name? All right. Dave McElwain.
Dave McElwain. Okay. Winnipeg,
Yes.
Islanders,
Yes.
Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Ottawa.
Yes.
How many more?
2.
Calgary,
No.
San Jose,
No.
Buffalo.
Yes. One more.
Ah, fuck. Tampa.
Toronto.
Time.
Toronto, you said?
Yeah. 1.
Oh, man. All right, so I got 5 out of 6 on that one. That's not bad.
No, I'd say that's not bad at all.
All right.
You already met Mark's total of 9, and you have one more. You have one more player to go.
Yeah, I had a rough showing.
All right. All right. Yeah, we're good here. All right, Mark, you ready?
Ready.
The aforementioned Jeff Norton.
San Jose, St.
Yep.
Louis,
Yep.
Islanders,
Yep.
Pittsburgh,
Yep.
Vancouver,
No.
Chicago,
No.
LA,
No.
Tampa.
Yes.
I said San Jose, right?
Yes.
Okay. Florida.
Yes.
5 seconds.
2 more.
Buffalo.
No.
Damn it.
Time.
Edmonton.
Boston and Edmonton.
I said Edmonton last second. I did say Edmonton last second. So I
Mark?
got that.
Yeah.
Where does this have Filk at now? He's at 15.
Well, how many? Hold on, I gotta count then. How many? So that means if you got Edmonton, you just missed 1. So that's Norton played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Played for 7 teams, so he got 6 out of 7 then. So
15 total.
What?
6 plus 9. 15.
15.
Yeah.
I'm so smart.
All right. All right. So, Mark, do you have or you want me to go?
You go. I don't have any.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start you off, Mark. And Anthony, do you want to do the timer or you want me to do it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just get it ready.
Okay.
All
Just
right.
tell me when you're ready.
I'm just gonna shout the time he's going. So if you want to keep track of that, all right.
Okay. All right. So you're ready to do it whenever I say it?
Yep.
Okay. Mark, first one, Steven Reinprecht.
Calgary, Florida, Colorado, Buffalo.
Buffalo is no.
Buffalo's a no.
There's 2 more teams.
LA.
Correct.
And
One more team.
Atlanta.
No.
You have 5 seconds still.
Oh, I did? San Jose.
No.
Done.
The other team you missed was Phoenix, Arizona.
Steve Reinprecht was always one of those guys I would acquire back in the day.
All right. So there are 4 teams for this player. So I'll try to let you know how many teams there are before, because this way it's easier to know how many teams you have left.
How many did he get that one?
He got 4 out of 5.
Okay.
All right. The next player has 4 teams. And that player is Tyler Wright.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yes. 2 more.
Calgary Flames.
Nope.
New York Islanders.
Nope.
Darn, Tyler Kennedy. LA Kings.
Nope.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Nope.
Time.
You missed Columbus and Anaheim.
I said Columbus.
No, I'm sorry. Edmonton and Anaheim. Sorry.
Yeah, those I missed. Yes.
Edmonton and Anaheim. Sorry. My fault.
Yeah, I said it in the middle of that. I was like, Tyler. No, there was Tyler Kennedy, who was the Islanders' third line center in 2015 with that pig snout that he's got.
How many did he get?
Just 2.
He got 2 out of 4 on that one.
2 out of 4.
Yeah. This player has 6 teams, Mark. Anthony, you ready?
Yep.
And the player is Chad Kilger.
Anaheim Ducks.
Yes.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
Winnipeg Jets. That is the old Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, technically correct, Phoenix.
So Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah.
Shoot. San Jose Sharks?
No.
LA Kings.
No.
Didn't even know you had two more on top of that.
Time.
All right. So you said, what were the ones that you said, Mark?
Anaheim, Winnipeg, Toronto.
Okay. So you missed Montreal, Edmonton, and Chicago.
Yeah, I definitely missed those. Yeah.
Because
You got 3 out of 6 there.
He was the centerpiece of the Teemu Selanne trade.
Yes.
All right. So Mark finished with 5, 10, 15, 9, a total of 19.
All right.
Not the best showing I would have.
All right.
All right, so 19.
Anthony, so your first one is Brian Muir.
LA?
No. Oh, yes, sorry.
Colorado?
Yes.
Boston?
7. What was that?
Boston?
No.
Calgary?
No.
St. Louis?
No.
Washington?
Yes.
5 seconds.
Penguins?
No.
Canadians?
And stop.
No. All
Time.
right, so what were the ones you said? You said Washington,
LA? Colorado?
and Colorado. Okay, so you missed
Buffalo.
Chicago, Tampa, Edmonton, and New Jersey.
Brian Muir didn't play for Buffalo?
No, he did not.
Sometimes you can tell by these guys' names.
All right. And then the next one for you, Anthony, is this might be a player you might be familiar with.
So is that 3 or 4 for Anthony, by the way, right there?
That was 3, I believe, right?
Okay.
All right. So the next player, Anthony, the player is Jason Strudwick.
Oilers? Rangers?
Yes.
Senators?
No.
Penguins?
No.
Islanders?
Yes.
Coyotes?
No.
Canucks?
Yes. One more.
I said Oilers. Predators?
No.
Bruins?
No.
Damn it. Who's the last one?
Time.
Minnesota.
The one that you missed, Anthony, was Chicago.
Damn it.
Very good showing on that, though, Anthony. I got
4?
one more for you.
How many was that, Phil?
That was 4 out of 5. This player has 6 teams. And, Mark, you ready?
And go.
And the player is Brad McCrimmon.
Flames?
Yes.
Oilers?
No.
Rangers?
No.
Devils?
No.
Sabres?
No.
Maple Leafs?
No.
Winnipeg Jets?
Technically, yes, it's Phoenix Coyotes. We'll give you that, though.
Hartford Whalers?
Correct. Yes.
Los Angeles Kings?
And
No.
time.
You missed Philadelphia, Boston, and Detroit.
Brad McCrimmon, who unfortunately was in the plane
The
crash.
locomotive crash, yeah.
Yeah.
He was an Islanders assistant
Yeah.
a little bit before that.
By the way, once again, everybody, thanks for the 146 you guys watching right now.
Yeah, we like doing this stuff because this is fun. This is like the little where we just like to mess around and just name a bunch of names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, we don't have more names we're throwing out?
Well,
No, that was 3 for Anthony and 3 for you.
no.
Okay,
Mark
nice. I wasn't keeping track. All right.
Mark had 6 players. So
I had like a ton.
He had more
today.
opportunity to bank more points. He got 3 players from me and 3 players from you.
Yeah, and then you didn't. Anthony didn't.
Well,
get 3 players
because
from
I
Mark.
don't have my 3 to throw out to either one of you guys, so
Yeah.
my points are invalid today.
It's really.
See, I think about stuff like I think about stuff like who are they traded for as a game. Like if I could say, like if I said
an interesting twist.
Jimmy Carson. I wonder how to get to the next round.
Wayne Gretzky trade.
Right. He was in the Wayne Gretzky trade. I think he was traded twice, actually. I'm trying to remember who else he was traded for.
You know who the other big player he was traded for?
Who?
Paul Coffey.
There you go.
From LA to Detroit.
But then you have LA to Detroit.
The other way around. Sorry, he went from Detroit to LA in the Paul Coffey trade. So when Paul Coffey was traded from LA to Detroit, he was the piece that went the other way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's one. I just want to know how to bank to the next next thing on that. Like if there's multiple pieces and stuff like that.
That could be an interesting one, recollecting trades and the players that were in them.
Yeah. But yeah, just what a thing. Which team did the Stastny brothers play on? I forgot, other than the Nordiques. Peter finished his career with the New Jersey Devils.
No, St. Louis Blues.
Oh, thank you. That's right.
Yeah, he went from the Nordiques to the Devils, to the Blues. He was on the 92 Devils team that lost to the Rangers, but he went to St. Louis after that and finished his team with St. Louis. I'm not sure about the other brothers. Did Anton, did he play anywhere else? I don't think he did. No, he didn't. And Marion, I don't think played anywhere else either. No, Anton and Marion did not play anywhere else.
Phil, I know technically speaking, Peter Stastny is number 2 on the list of most points by undrafted players.
Adam Oates is 1.
Well, no, who is 1.
Well, Wayne Gretzky is technically 1, but yeah, there's.
I always hate that because it's like, they inherited the team. It's not the same thing, but that's a different story.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy on that Gretzky and him being drafted and everything like that.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to call the show right there, but we're going to let you guys get some comments in first. Start the music. And by the way, technically speaking, I owed one of these because when you were talking before and you said to be fair. All right. So we're going to start up with bye-bye right now. Guys, whatever comments you might want to get in here. Steve Thomas. Yeah, hell of a career Steve Thomas had.
Yeah, I think he was just short of 1,000 points.
I understand, in a way, Adam Oates not getting drafted. But
well, that's what happens when you play college hockey at RPI. I mean,
yeah.
The only other notable that I could think of that came from RPI was, funny enough, the guy that he centered in his first couple of years in the NHL, Joey Juneau.
Yeah. Joey Juneau, who would have gone down as one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time if it wasn't behind Team Mussolini.
Yeah, 102 points and 32 goals, 84 games with those 93 Bruins. That top line of Oates, Carvaltana, and Juneau, they wreaked havoc on the NHL that year. That was Oates' best year, too, funny enough. He played 2.5 seasons consecutively with Brett Hull. Helped Brett Hull score 3 consecutive 70-goal seasons and 2 70-goal seasons, sandwiching an 86-goal season. But his best year was with Dmitry Karmeltanov, who in a blink, not many people know who the hell he is. You can miss him if you blink. And Joey Juneau. Think about that.
Well, I still mispronounce his name all the time. Because I put the different emphasis on different Slava. I always call him Kvartlinov or something like that, because I think that's the way I pronounced it when I was 15. But with this guy, see, Phil, I'm glad you brought that up, because Oates is a great example of when a great player gets to play with another great player. And you might not have realized how great Adam Oates was. I mean, this is a guy that helped take Anaheim to their first Stanley Cup Finals in 2003 at the tail end of his career. But this guy was one of the greatest passers of all time. I mean,
Steven tried to tell me that Artemi Panarin is better. I was like, I don't think so.
No.
I'm sorry. And then he pointed to the Calder Trophy. I was like, okay. I mean, that's great, but you're literally. I mean, I think that's quite a bit of a reach to say that Artemi Panarin was a better player than Adam Oates. And if you want to talk about where they ranked in their generations, I'd say probably pretty close. Not really the best.
Yeah.
You know, but they were close to the top somewhat.
Like, I mean, he was just such a great player and good defensive player, great face-off guy. He had that shortened stick that he would just...
He could get really low, too, because he wasn't tall. He was average size. But he could get really low to the ground. He was one of the guys that I tried to emulate his face-off technique.
I kind of tried to do that, too.
And I just couldn't do it. I was terrible on face-offs.
I was always really good on face-offs, and then I've been a little bit down lately. But again, looking at this week coming up, you got the Islanders welcoming back Brock Nelson. The Rangers got to get to Colorado this week too. Might see another shellacking as far as that goes. And Vegas. Vegas maybe not so much. I wonder how Carter Hart's are going to fit in with Vegas. And there's a lot of people that are just mad Carter Hart's still playing right now, but that's a different story at the moment. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered, especially in the New York area. Guys, thank you very much once again for joining us on Big Apple Hockey. We do this every single week for you guys. And keep spreading the word. Spread the word. Spread the BAH virus everywhere. Phil, last word goes to you.
Well, surprising win last night. Let's see what happens on Thursday.
And that's going to be the key thing. They got to keep it going. Thank you guys. We will see you soon.